Nomad at Night, starring the one and only Nomad.
Yo, No Maniacs. Welcome to the show. This is Nomad at Night. I am your host, Nomad. And with me tonight is my guy, my trusty, the Canuck, and who's going to be joining us in shortly. Hopefully shortly. He's got some food on the stove. It's your guy, Chef Trips. He wants to speak on the subjects of the day right now, man. And that is Shane Waldron became the scapegoat of the situation, which is what I feared in our last show on the post-game show. I feared this because, quite frankly, we're going to get into all levels of this conversation about specifically this coaching change, why that happened, flus, polls, maybe the agent that they all have that they share together. All that shit is important. But we're going to get into it all. And before I say too much and take the conversation to the levels that we're going to end up taking this conversation to, and while the No Maniacs are filing in, let me pass it on to my guy, the Canuck, for some pleasantries before we get ready to start cutting.
Hey, that's me. What it do, Super No Maniacs? What's poppin', No Maniacs? Give you guys some love for giving us some love as per normal. Shout out to you, Minister Charles Johnson. Big ups as always. Shout out to my guy Trax. Shout out to Mo Fugra, King Booker World, Black Diamond, The Naj. Shout out to all you guys, FFG Style, Plankster. I haven't seen you in a minute, Plank. Always love to you, my dude. Thanks for always supporting the show and the channel. Who else am I missing? Oh, thanks. Big shout out to my guy Triple R. Shout outs to Coach Trippin, and shout out to Trip Voorhees. Shout out to all them guys over at Sports Chicago Style. Mad love to my guys over there, and mad love to speak of the devil, there he is.
And the devil shall appear.
There he is. Wow.
What up, man?
What up? I got a little pot of something on the stove, a little potato soup, if you will. Full of veggies, making this on stock and such. So it's all in there bathing together like adults do.
You got some cheddar cheese you're gonna put on that thing?
I still have to shred it.
Yeah. Them shows, isn't it?
Hey man, I love you a soup.
Hey, hold on. Let me back out for a second, and then I'll back out for a second because we got a lot of like stuff to talk about. But check it out. I'll be right back.
All right. But yeah, man, give you guys some love. Yo, it's Crimson just jumped in. What? It's Crimson. Oh, man. Mad shout outs to all you guys, man. Again, always mad respect from me and from Nomad. To you guys for hanging in with us and rocking with us and rolling with us.
Chris Franklin, what up, man?
Yeah, man, Chris, what's popping? Yo, MC Fact. It's a week. It's been a rough couple of weeks, y'all. Yo, Coach Trippin. What are you doing over there, Trippin?
All right. Isolate him on the screen for me, Nick. The dude, isolate him on the screen.
Nope.
Hold on. Just give him a second. There we go.
Oh.
You got sound, Trip?
Can you hear me?
Barely.
All right, potato soup.
Ooh.
Bacon on the side.
Oh, potato and bacon with the broccoli and carrots, little mushrooms in there.
Troop knew exactly what to do, man, with a hurting fan base and a grieving fan base. What do? You make damn soup. That makes everybody happy.
It not only does it make it happy, it makes us healthy too, right? So good for you, Triple R. I appreciate that. This is a home cooked meal is exactly what the doctor ordered. Oh, we got a little cheesiness in there.
Sour cream and cheddar.
Is it sour cream or is it cottage cheese, Doc?
No, that's sour cream.
It's sour cream. Okay, all right.
And cheddar and some bacon bits on their ass.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Trip, do you like sear the bacon first, or are you just putting that baby in there?
Already
Yeah.
crispy.
Okay, you already did it. All right. Okay.
Mm.
That's where I put the onions and the celery in.
Okay, all of a sudden I can hear you well, Trip. You keep going.
Oh, you got celery in there too. Oh, that's gonna give a nice flavor, actually, man.
Yeah,
Onions in there too?
Yeah, celery, onions, garlic, and then the carrots, broccoli, mushrooms, and then but I put the bacon in very first and let the fat render out, and then put the carrots and celery in them in.
I got one question for you, man. Are we working with chef trips? Or are we dealing with the motherfucker in the kitchen? Which one?
Well, you got a little combination of both in the sneak preview.
That's
Look,
it.
That pot,
Shout out to Rogue Sigma. What's popping?
That pot is righteous, man. You can smell that shit. I know you can, kids.
Well, I can't smell it, but I wish I could, because I could definitely use a little vomit in a pan. He says, "No, man, that's a good soup, broski. It's a good soup, man. It's good, good home cooked comfort food for a fan base that needs as much bloody comfort as I can possibly think of right now." Shout out to you either way, broski bear. Shout out to you, AC Adam. Looks like bear down. Looks like something that'll cure bro back to health. Yeah, we all need some health. We all need some cures, because this team's illin'.
Shout out to True Rogue Sigma, man. First time seeing him in here, man. Shout out to you. Welcome in, man. Welcome to the community.
We'll need a lot more of the soup for this Sunday football game, though. Oh man.
All right, man. We got the chef up in the building, man. He back there brewing it up. God Lord, I ain't lying. I ain't lying. This is one of them times I'm watching you cook. I'm saying, like, damn, I wish I had this house right. I love me a bowl of soup, bro. I ain't lying to you. Good ass bowl of soup. While the weather is changing right now, man, dude, and you got all them vegetables up in there.
Man, let me tell you, all those vegetables, right? They get to know each other, and they're getting all the flavor, and they're getting like sopped up in the juice from everybody else. And then there's nothing that can cook in there, because the potatoes are going to get mushy, as mushy as possible. You don't have to take them out and blend them or nothing. You just let it boil until it softens enough that things just fall apart. And so if you get any dietary restrictions, you adjust it. If you get like soft ass gums and shit, it's nice soft food. It's warm. It's comforting. And it's got, like the bacon in there. So you get the little flavors. Then you get a little cheese. And it's like, oh, that's a veggie. Oh, shit, that's a different veggie. And it's like, yeah, and then you get a nice piece of bread or something to go with it to make a grilled cheese sandwich. Something like that. Come on. Who's fucking with it?
You know what, Trips? It's funny is a lot of people don't see soup as a meal. Look at AC Adam. He said it's a supper, but not dinner. Like I see soup as a complete meal. Like that's just how I see it.
Everything's in there.
Right. You know what I mean? I know people out there that are like, okay, you got soup sandwich kind of people, and you got, all those types of folks, and that's all good, man. I was with a girl who was raised like that. You have soup, got to have a sandwich to go with it, right? But that's just people in their cultures and how people see soup. Like I see soup as a complete meal,
or have a salad with it.
Yeah,
soup and salad.
Depending on what kind of soup you're having, because you might have enough vegetables in that soup, like yours is. What the hell you need a salad for?
Exactly. I need a sandwich, bro. Give me a sandwich and some crazy soup action. Like I'm all about that soup though. So trust me, all about that soup. We're talking about. Strangely enough, we're talking about pho the other day. Pho. I don't know. Broski Bear says his comfort is with an Asian woman, and shout outs to her. But shout outs to pho as well. Pho is a very similar. It is an Asian soup.
Mama-san.
Yeah, that's it. It's good stuff.
Hey, we're gonna get We'll get into the bear stuff, but go ahead, kids. I just want everybody that came in for that. Trust me, we getting there. We just talking about.
Oh, real talk. We're about to move into it because I'm reading these chats. What's popping, Deuce One? Shout out Jay Sanders. These chats are hilarious, man. I'm just saying because, bro, Minister Charles was hurting on the way back home from St. Louis. After that football game, I think we were all hurting, and I don't think the pain's gonna end anytime soon. And Nomad, I got to give you a shout out for this particular thumbnail today because, I thought it was a scapegoat situation for sure, and that's what you put down, and we're going to talk about that here today because I don't. How Matt Eberflus is still the coach of this football team baffles the living daylights out of me.
Well,
that's where I'm at.
Let's take it point by point, step by step. Of course, Trip wasn't there on a post game when we were discussing this. We knew something was brewing. Trips, we knew it. It was just what was going to happen, and kids and I was back and forth with it. With the whole concept of precedent that there's never going to be a head coaching change during the season for the Chicago Bears. And I was telling him, I was just like, nah, this one feels different. This one feels very, very different. And, this could be one of those situations where they break precedent. And I held out hope for that, man. I ain't lying to you. I held out real hope for it because I do think the right thing to do would have been to replace the coach. In a real world where you can see that this is going nowhere with this guy, that he's lost confidence in that room, in that building, with the players, you need some new energy. You need a new voice to really rally around. I think Flus's voice has fallen stale inside that building. The players don't believe in him no more. This is when you inject that new voice, Thomas Brown or your Eric Washington. This was the perfect opportunity to do that. Listen, and I'm gonna pass it to you guys right quick before I say too much. But looking at the tape tells me everything I need to know. And I'm telling you guys, full-throated, this shit is not on Shane Waldron. It is not Shane Waldron's fault. Shane Waldron is calling up competent plays. The problem is something that's happened since that Hail Mary. And I went through this with you kids over and over, that I thought that was the situation. What they did after the Tyreek Stevenson.
Hail Mary, we'll call it.
Yeah, that was going to make a difference. And I'm not saying that the fact that they benched him caused all this to fall out. I'm saying that was the pivotal moment, because you can't tell me with the production that this offense was given, this offense was productive. We were averaging 30-something points a game, 31 to be exact. And the quarterback was playing halfway decent. Probably you can say well. And all of a sudden, this happens after a bye. Everything comes off the track. Something happened. And it didn't sit well in that locker room, because everything is come loose at this point. So that's what we're going to start the conversation, is how all this happened. Let's just start there. I think we can point to that Hail Mary and start there with the conversation, and we can fill it out from there.
So I point to a completely different place. So I'm going to let Triple R touch that initially. What are your thoughts, brother?
Well, I'm thinking that the Hail Mary play, that set it off, but the feeling was already there. With the comments that came out, like Komet was saying that, they're not coaching us hard enough, or this, that, and the other, and we don't know who's in charge and all of this. And it's like that falls on the head coach, to right the ship and be like, yo, you listen to him, you handle your shit. And now we're looking at Waldron as the second, offensive coordinator that Flus has gone through. And when does it come to the point where it's like, well, how many coordinators this dude get to go through before the lowest common denominator is him? And then it goes up to polls. It's like, well, shit. You letting Flus on all this when it looks like Flus is the problem. And so Waldron's probably the scapegoat, but there was nothing in his offensive play calling that is like, yeah, he's the scapegoat for sure. Because it was like, dude, what are you doing out there? What plays are you calling? How are you coaching this rookie quarterback? What are you putting on his plate? How are you utilizing the weapons that you have? And why does it take you so long? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter now. But with 3 games into the season, it's like, I don't know what these players can do just yet and how they fit in my system. And so it's like, yeah, now he's gone. And it's like, well, shit, season's done. The team doesn't give a shit about what Flus has to say anymore because he's just a goof ass on the mic in front of the crowd anyway. He might have cute nicknames and he might be a hell of a nice fella, but, his coaching ability, his leadership of men is null and void. And so, once the players see that and they lost the confidence in their ship having a captain, it's like, run ashore, memory bliss, or whatever that PM Dawn song was.
Set adrift on memory bliss of you. Boom.
Thank you very much.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Robin Harris. I'm seeing all these Boz players, all these new names in the show, man. Welcome in, y'all. Man, welcome to the community. Trust me, man, we're about to hit some dimes, man. We're about to knock some home runs out the park, man. I got dialed in for this show, and I know these guys are too. I'm telling you, we're gonna hit some don't go nowhere, man. We just getting started. This is gonna be one hell of a show, because I'm gonna tell you, looking at the tape, man, I know what the deal is. I think it's a lot of people that don't want to admit and don't want to go there because, we want to be protective of our quarterback, but he's a large part to do with all this. You ain't gonna tell me that Shane Waldron was a competent play caller for multiple games this season, and all of a sudden he became incompetent. No, fuck that. There's some other shit going on. We need to, you need to buck up like men and women and say what it is. And that's where we're at right now. But I apologize, kids. Go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate you throwing it right back. Right. So let me lay this down. And on my Twitter today, I posted a picture of Ryan Poles and a little rhyme. And it was, how many scapegoats' heads will roll before they point at Ryan Poles. All right. And that's a lyric. That's a bar for you guys to really think about. And we're at 8 heads now, right? So Triple R just kind of alluded to some of the heads that have disappeared, but Alan Williams, Andrew Janoko, Luke Getsy obviously needed to go, no questions there. There are more, and who cares to list the rest of them? But the number is 8 right now. So like an alley cat or like Sylvester the Cat, it looks like Matt Eberflus has 9 lives, but I think he's at the very final life here, and I'm pretty sure he dies at the end of this season. Problem being, that death probably should have taken place earlier on. And when it didn't, it allowed them to retain a gentleman named Chris Morgan, who is the offensive coordinator of the offensive line, as well as the run game. And I don't know about the rest of you Bears fans out there, but I'm pretty sure all of you have noticed clearly that those are the 2 weakest parts of this football team, which really needed to be the 2 strongest parts of the football team by way of offense in order to take pressure off of your young rookie quarterback that you decided to draft, especially when you decided to draft him and retain the losingest head coach in NFL history. Yeah, I said it. Matt Nagy had, I think his record was 31 and 34. Losing record. Bad record. Matt Eberflus is somewhere around 14 and 34. Literally 50% of the wins that Matt Nagy has had in his entire tenure. That's terrible. And we can sort of sit back and go, all right, so tank season, cool. But the fact of the matter is, if we had if Ryan Poles had reset at the quarterback position, this offseason, even in a down season like we're having right now, there would be some grace. He would have bought himself grace, right? Oh, well, it's a new everything. New head coach, new quarterback, new wide receivers, new. This is all new stuff. It didn't work out. Well, we'll figure it out next year. New coach, we're fine. It is what it is. We're building. We're developing. Are we developing? We're watching the complete opposite of that. We're watching regression. We're watching a head coach who has no clue what he's doing on the sidelines. Can't call a timeout for the life of him. He's on the field, has the quarterback pulling him off of the field. I don't know what happened here, but the track record speaks for itself. He's not a good coach. Somehow he's still here. And when the media was asking him questions this week, I don't know if you guys watched the cap situation, which was abysmal and hilarious for all intents and purposes. It was super funny because, Caleb alluded to communication being an issue earlier in the season, and Matt Eberflus couldn't even have a conversation on a cell phone with Cap and Jay Hood. Couldn't even manage that, right? Let alone a football game.
Tell the actual story. What was reported, man, about that whole thing?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
They're saying that Matt Eberflus's phone wasn't working or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That was how it went. He called in, they talked, the phone kept dropping, they tried 3 times, and at some point Cap was like, bro, your cell phone is as bad as this offense.
Yeah, no, it was bad. I was listening to it live. It was horrendous.
It was very convenient, wasn't it, dude?
It was a convenient,
Yeah, very, very convenient.
Yeah, it was very
it's a
convenient.
reflection of how their organization is run. It's shit. It's doo-doo.
Yeah, and so's their AT&T plan. Shout out AT&T. I'm just playing. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, I think you're right, Robert. I think he hung up on him.
He did. He definitely hit the mute button on him.
At some point.
At
some point he did. And no Cap Cappington, the 12th. What it do? I'm just saying, like that's how that went down. The real issue here is that they decided to pair Chris Morgan with Shane Waldron, and at no point did they think that maybe Chris Morgan and Shane Waldron might not get along, or maybe they'll hate each other. Maybe one will undermine the other and prevent his ability to actually be the leader in that offensive room. Somehow, Chris Morgan is still here too.
God.
Right? So, and these are the things that drive me nuts. So Chris Morgan's still here. Matt Eberflus is still here. The only guy who really actually can call plays in a successful manner in the building is gone. And what do? They've elevated Thomas Brown, which in a minute.
Kids, what is that goddamn book you read that helps you know how to read somebody else's goddamn diary? Because you keep reading the whole goddamn script I want to get to, but goddamn, calm down when you're talking about what just happened with this guy, man. Come on, man.
I'm just saying. I don't understand how, but like why I'm reading the diary here is because this is the diary that nobody else wants to address out there when you're watching, the faculty, when you're watching these other shows from these guys nationwide who aren't actually Chicago Bears fans, aren't paying attention to really what's happening here. They'll give you great insight. Shady been all over the map, but again, insight. Nobody wants to talk about the actual nuances of what's happened here. And what's happened is they retained the losingest coach in history. He said, my buddy stays too, and his buddy basically systematically destroyed the offense.
Man, before we go any further, get that back up, man, because I got Crimson, you dig, just became a new member. We can use all of that support. Trust me when I tell you, man. Thank you, Crimson, you dig, for becoming a member. It's only $4.99 a month. You're going to be helping out some good dudes that are just trying to come out here and give you guys some great content. I'm telling you, we can use it right now. It's stuff that we can use that stuff for. So thank you, Crimson, man. I definitely, and I can speak for the whole network. Thank you, man. We need more of that. But
you know what else we need though? We need people, and it don't cost nothing. It don't cost your pockets nothing to go to Sports Chicago Style and go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and watch those videos when me and Coach Trippin and Chef Trips and Trip. You know, we break down the Bears preview post game, as well as our own individual content for the whole lifestyle, genre, if you will. So yeah, sports Chicago style. So go ahead and give that little support ass too while we talking about it. Good looking, no maniacs.
Yes, sir, man. Get over there and support our guy, man. Go over there and support our guy over at Sports Chicago style, man. I keep saying it over and over again, man. We gotta pick each other up, and I'm not playing when I say that. That's important right about now, man. We got to lift each other up, give them all the support you able to, and so whatever you're able to do, man. I can tell you I can speak for us over here at the Nomad Network and what Trips is doing over at Sports Chicago style. Definitely appreciate you ahead of time. Ahead of time, thank you.
So Nomad, I'm gonna throw something at you because you're much better than I am at the whole uplifting thing. So I'm much more of a say it as I see it, the way that it is. And if people don't like it, I'm sorry. That's just me. In this scenario, what do you think of Thomas Brown's elevation to being offensive coordinator?
I'm glad you asked.
Do what I can.
Do you remember the show when Thomas Brown was being considered as a person that can come in? I can remember before he was hired as the assistant, or what is he? A passing game coach. He's assistant to the offensive coordinator. Now he's the official offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But before he came in for an interview for the actual offensive coordinator job, and I was just like, "Hey man, hire that motherfucker," because every bit of my research, kids, Trips, and all you maniacs out there, super maniacs, it was green arrows pointing in that direction. People rave over this dude. How do you come? He went from tearing his hamstring or groin or something to coaching in like 24 hours. It happened real fast. He was in the coaching because he messed up his career on I think it was one of those hip drop tackles that kind of ended up making him tear his hamstring off the bone or groin. I can't remember exactly how that played out.
It was he was running a play and his groin, it ripped from the bone.
Oh, that's right. It was on a horse collar tackle.
Yeah, horse collar, hip drop or something.
Yeah.
But he transitioned into coaching pretty fast, and pretty fast he picked up speed. He went from a few colleges. He went to Georgia. I think he was at Marshall. Let me see where else. Georgia, Marshall. Miami is when I think he started making some noise. And I think after Miami, he got his first coaching job in the NFL in his first year. In his first year with Sean McVay in that 2020 championship team out there when the Rams won it all, he started off in that one season, in his first season as an NFL assistant. In that one season, he went from running backs coach. Think about this for a second. He went from running backs coach to assistant head coach in the same fucking season. Let me stop right there. Trips, what does that tell you about the character of the individual?
Well, he has ambition. He's obviously smart. He has connections, and people aren't afraid to elevate him into those, advancements.
Obviously, they saw something in him, right?
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be respected professionally and personally.
What say you, kids? What do you think about it? You asked me, but that's my first response to it. I got more.
I know you do, and I'm gonna let you do what you do because I don't feel the same. I'm worried, so I'm gonna let you uplift and do what you do because I'm not so sure about this. Well, anyways, do what you do.
But you know what, Boss Players just put a chat up, and I'm gonna read it. He said that doesn't mean he's savvy enough to call game plans. That is very true. The only sample that we have of him calling game plans,
here it comes.
It was in Carolina with Bryce Young.
Dun dun dun.
So,
that's why I'm worried, right?
So it's like the reclamation project you're given when things ain't working out right, and there's something to be said to connectivity. And we're going to speak about that as the show goes on. The connectivity not only needs to be there, it needs to have a high frequency. Now I'm talking about Caleb Williams and Shane Waldron right now, but in the conversation that we having about Thomas Brown and what happened in Carolina, something in the power dynamic shifted because I can't remember what the cat's name is, but he gave Thomas Brown the reins of the offense, and he took him back. I can't think of the coach's name. Somebody help me out right now.
Oh, Frank Reich.
Frank Reich gave him the reins and took him back. And took him back for whatever reasons. Things wasn't connecting, and Frank Reich ended up being fired. That was crazy. What I'm saying to you guys is, you're right. The person that put that up there, he's got to be able to call this, and it's almost an impossible job dealing with Caleb Williams and what he's gone through up to this point with a shoddy offensive line, getting ready to go against the Packers in division rivalry week. And I feel sorry for Thomas Brown, but somehow, some way, he's got to go in that room. He's got to go in that room and get the connectivity level up. He's got to get the connectivity level up. Mayhem, you're right. He should have been fired. We should have another head coach right now. I was scared it's going to happen. But I do think Thomas Brown, if there's a guy on that team that can walk in that room and give some kind of stick of dynamite into that room and spark things, I think Thomas Brown is the guy that they hired. I think he's the guy most capable of it. I can remember, kids, how excited Flus was. Not just Flus, but how excited Poles was in getting this guy, because I think he was highly sought out there, at least as an assistant. People could not wait to get this guy in their building. And so I'm glad we got him, and I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt right now.
Well, there's that. So this is my guy who generally is glass half full on most things, and I think everybody should have a guy like that. I'll just put that out there. In this particular scenario, I'm not that guy. In this scenario here, because he didn't cut the head off the snake or move out his buddy, I think this is just going to be more of the same, unfortunately. I think that this offense has been rotted from the offensive line coordinator up, including the run game. I can say that again. Thomas Brown is a former running back. Maybe they can find some sort of way to improve that run game case scenario a little bit, but I doubt it. Again, he's still working with Chris Morgan. Chris Morgan, who's to say, and let's be real, who's to say Chris Morgan doesn't feel slighted now? He's been stuck with the team. Stuck is the wrong word. He's been with the team probably longer than everybody else at this point, as far as the offensive room is concerned. He might be the leader in conversation in that room, disruptive leader. And I have a hard time thinking that Thomas Brown is suddenly going to sort of step up to the plate and be the vocal leader they need in that room now. That's just me.
Well, I would think it would obviously it's not the time or place, because he has this new responsibility now in the middle of a Packers week. But it would be interesting to have the question asked of him of a Waldron assessment and how he would be different utilizing the same, playbook, basically. How is his play calling, or how is he changing plays or adding plays? What's he doing that's going to make this offense look better? Is it, connecting with the rookie quarterback? Is it understanding what the offensive line is or isn't mostly, and adjusting the play calling to that? How is his vision of an offense and scoring points going to be adapted to this situation?
Yeah,
I think it's a whole lot of good comments coming in the chat right now, and I apologize. We apologize ahead of time if we can't get all of them up. But good Lord, these people in the chat are killing it. When I say they are destroying it. Listen, first thing you got to do, and I've been in a locker room where the voice got stale. Just like, man, here this motherfucker coming. You sitting in there, right? You sitting in the meeting room talking about the offense, whether it's the quarterback room, receiver room, wherever. When you're sitting in there with the whole offense and you're waiting for the coach to come in there, typically everybody's kind of, ready and prepared for whatever he's going to bring into the table. You're going to gaslight some people, going to do all kinds of stuff. You're going to call some people out, and you ready to accept it as a player. But when it gets to the point where, and I don't know if maybe Shane Waldron got to that point, because it does seem from reporting that some of the guys on the team was just like, we need that guy needs to go. And I'm saying to you guys that even though people felt like that inside the building, I was just looking at Kevin Byard on WGN. He had an interview, and I watched his response when I think it was Joniak actually that asked him, was firing the offensive coordinator the right thing to do to get this thing fixed? And
there's no way Jeff Joniak asked that question, but keep going.
Jeff Joniak. It was Jeff Joniak. And he said, and Kevin Byard said, I don't know that firing the offensive coordinator or that particular coach is the answer to it. And so what that said to me in particular was they was expecting Flus to go. And he felt like I took from that answer that he felt like, I don't know that the offensive coordinator alone is the problem. Like we all feel in Chicago. This is what I love about the Chicago Bears fans and why I love doing these podcasts with you guys, because I know we're dealing with everybody's cutthroat with their opinion. They don't give a fuck how other people feel about how they think about their team. And they're going to tell you the truth. These are the type of motherfuckers that walk up to a woman and say, hey, man, that's an ugly baby. These are those type of motherfuckers, man. People just tell you the truth in this part of the world, kids. I don't know if you've never been to Chicago, but these are some truth-telling motherfuckers.
I'm a truth-teller myself, but I ain't telling nobody their baby ugly. I'm just you might read it off my face, but I'm not going to tell you.
No, that's when this ugly baby is like, oh, damn, he looked just like you.
You look just like your mama.
Right. Oh, damn, he getting to look honest.
He won't to tell you the truth around here, man. I'm telling you, dude.
Spitting image is what I'd say right there.
Hey, go ahead.
Man, I don't know, man. It's good that we can get some humor and laughs out of all this, because, like I say, this is how Matt Eberflus made. I told you though. I told you he would not be fired. How he made it out this week is Ryan. It's either on Ryan Poles or it's higher than Ryan Poles, which is what I need to understand now. And now I have to be the bad guy, who's pointing the finger, like I said in my bar. I'm pointing the finger at Ryan now. I am. I don't know who you have to slap to get Matt Eberflus out of Halas Hall. I'm not sure who you have to attack or talk to or whatever it may be. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't. He needs to go. Chris Morgan needs to go.
Did we lose kids?
Kids, hold on. Let me. Kids, we gotta honor the super.
Shout out to Daryl Gibson, man. 199. Thanks, brother. Teams have found the QB weakness. I'm not sure if it's if there's.
I think they have. I got something to report on that, but I'll let you finish.
No. Go ahead.
Because looking at the all 22, what became glaringly clear, Daryl Gibson, to your point, and thank you for that super chat. I'm gonna take it there for you. They have found the QB weakness, and that is I've seen. Let me see, at least the last two games that teams have figured out that all you have to do is get up close and press and play man to man. Don't run zone. Play man to man. Get close bump and run coverage. And if he sees receivers in tight quarters, he's not going to throw the ball. He's nervous. For whatever reason, it makes him nervous, and he doesn't want to release that ball. And he's hesitant to throw it. If he sees tight coverage, man to man, What that allows the defense to do is not only get up and play bump and run, now it kind of forces them to send blitzes and really go attack downhill at them, because if you're going to go one-on-one and somebody gets beat, there's nothing back there to help you. So now you got to send the pressure, right? And so on the all-22, these last couple of games, they figured out the Rubik's Cube with Caleb, and that is to press one-on-one, don't give these guys much room, and he won't throw the ball. He'll hold that ball too fucking long, and you'll end up with the sack because you're sending pressure along with it. That is clear on the all-22. I'm going to say it one more time. They have figured out, play these receivers close, play bump and run, and Caleb won't throw the ball. He's going to get nervous because he doesn't like that. He's not used to seeing it. The USC Caleb had, he ran around and found opportunities. This is different. That's making him nervous, and it's in his head right now. And it's in his head right now. He doesn't know when to let that ball go. He won't let it go. And I don't know if it's just him or the coach telling him, protect this ball. Don't throw the ball if you got any second guesses.
Well, now, let me just say this. I don't know if it's true or not, but this being, several years past the fact of me yelling at the TV at Justin Fields to throw the motherfucking ball, please throw the motherfucking ball. Now we're looking at this quote unquote touted as generational number 1 pick quarterback who are now looking at standing behind a porous offensive line, finding myself yelling, kid, throw the fucking ball. And it's very frustrating, which, I may be a topic of conversation, but it's just this whole circle jerk thing that is the McCaskey-owned Bears. And it's like, well, we're talking about, different coaches here. Well, maybe this passing coordinator can be the key to unlocking the number 1 pick, of which the coach hired this offensive coordinator to work with under, I guess, the general manager's eye. But it looks more and more like George McCaskey's at the water cooler, like, hey, I like this Flus. That's my dog. Poles, Flus is my dog. And Poles is like, okay, I just want a job. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but yes, it's just a shit show. But yeah, good luck to the offense.
Again, we should have known, right? So when holy smokes,
I wish I can tell you that I felt different. I'm telling you right now, it's clear and obvious when he's looking at guys in close quarters talking about the receivers. When those DBs are up on him, those D-backs are on him, on those receivers, he's hesitant to throw the ball. He's got to get to a point in his head where, you know what, if you like they say, that old saying, kids and trips, you ever heard this? If he's even, he's leaving.
Yeah.
You got to get to a point where you got to now really throw with anticipation. Several times during the last game, DJ got wide open on the seam, and he's even and got a little bit of separation on the guy, and you just got to let that motherfucker go and give that guy a chance to go get that ball. It is definitely, I'm telling you, it is definitely teams have figured out, don't play zone against him, get him bump and run, and this motherfucker won't throw the ball. Or if he'll just hold on to that ball and we'll get him. I'm telling you, it's clear.
You're bang on. You're bang on. 100 billion %. And what makes it worse is if they're pressing, his depot's abysmal. Right? Like if he's leaving, I'm not sure if Caleb's gonna hit him. Are you?
Oh no, because he ain't hit a deep pass yet that was worth a shit.
He did that one time in band camp. I mean in preseason.
That one time in band camp? When
I'm just saying he did it once. There was one real nice one. After that, he's got the ugliest deep ball I've ever seen in football, period. And I'm not a quarterback, so take my 2 cents for what it's worth. He ain't hitting nobody with that thing.
So think about that, kids, what you just said.
Yeah.
In the context of what I just got through describing. If he's no threat to deep ball, number one, clearly between
cut the short route out.
0, 15, 20 yards is where he gets his money at. He wants to get the ball out fast, get that ball to the short curls, the stick patterns, the outs, the slants. He wants to get those plays off. And defenses, you can see the tendencies when you look at the tape. Defenses are clear. This is what he's looking for. This is what the offensive coordinator is looking for. He's trying to get him set up, get him some clean, short passes and get him some rhythm, and they're playing on it. They're getting up on these motherfuckers close, and they're not giving them exactly what they're looking for, and that's that 0 to 15-yard radius. You're not getting shit in there. You're going to have to beat us over the top. That's what they're doing to him. And so he's going to see a whole fucking lot of that. He's going to see a lot of that.
What makes matters worse is that, you know, who said it in the chat? Like, somebody said. Anyways, you know, he's like, whoever was saying is like he's not the OC. You know, somebody should be scheming these guys open. Let's be real here. There's times when these guys are open and he's just not pulling the trigger. Like, I seen DJ Moore open 3 or 4 times this week and nothing happened. I saw Cole Kmet open 5 or 6 times, nothing happened. DeAndre Swift, few times, nothing happened.
Well, that's why it comes back to coaching, because
yes,
Caleb is reverting to what he's used to, back to his college days of seeing guys wide open or being able to run around until somebody, you know, gets wide open and blown coverage. He's not being coached to, you know, take the small gains, take the check downs. And then when he did it, he's, you know, reverted to not doing that anymore. And so it's like, well, what the hell happened? Because it's a progressive thing. And his just deep ball accuracy is he's not dropping it in a bucket. You know, he's throwing it over the wrong shoulder, making guys turn around. So, I mean, he's not the accurate. And maybe the accuracy will come once he's more comfortable in the pocket and understand what he's saying and knowing what he's doing. You know, that's just a we hope thing. But the way he's being brought along and just that 1,000-yard stare he's getting on the bench, like Justin Fields had, like Mitch Trubisky had, like Sexy Rexy Grossman had.
You have a scroll over there, you can just roll.
You know, they're just looking, and it's like, you know, they're just waiting till we crush the trade or be someplace else, because the heart's not in it here. And that just is just it's just very frustrating, because we just keep living this cycle, and I don't know how to break it.
Let me back this thing up a little bit, because we're into the whole conversation. It's going to take a while to meet through all that Caleb conversation. And I don't want people to misunderstand what we're saying here on this podcast. What I'm talking about is real. It's on all 22. Anything on tape is correctable. Number one, he's a talented ass fucking quarterback, and that's just the bottom line to that. And these things can be corrected. These things can be corrected. Hold on, man. I just got knocked out for a second. These things can be corrected, and we're gonna get back to that conversation. But before we go there, let's keep banging on this coach and what happened here. I don't know if you guys knew that Poles, Flus, Getsy, and Waldron are their agent is Trace Armstrong. Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna repeat the names: Poles, Flus, Getsy, and Waldron. You know what I'm starting to think? You ever seen that cartoon Trips? I know you have. Them old ass cartoons, Tom and Jerry or whatever, where the individual, his head was represented by a sucker. And like his whole head is a sucker. He's a sucker.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to feel like Trace Armstrong is seeing George McCaskey as his bank. He's just rolling this motherfucker. Whoever I got as on my agency list, I can sell to this motherfucker and bankroll.
Duh.
Yeah, something like that. Because I was thinking more of the kingpin, where Trace is, let's just say, keeping Virginia a happy old woman.
Oh, you always going there.
Just like, we're gonna hire all my people, okay, Mama. And make George call that.
With the floss? Is that what you're talking about, Kingpin? As in like Munson with the floss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when he had to pay his rent, and she was like, and it's like, And it's
Oh,
like,
man.
I was like, shit, this is NFL money.
How
I got
bad now was it?
I got the coach, I got the coordinators. He cashing some nice percentages in his check.
Man,
Yeah.
dude, I think that was when I found that out. To me, I think I found the nucleus to the problem.
Well, we talked about that earlier, bro.
They trust that guy way too much, and they're lazy. They don't want to do the research to find the coaches that they need, and they trust Trace Armstrong to do it for them. And this motherfucker sending them. They thinking they're getting Lamborghinis when this motherfucker comes in there and meets with them, and they're getting a goddamn lemon.
Well, remember, this is how this worked, right? The McCaskies, George is not a football guy. He's a fan, and that's a quote. George went out and he said, Bill Polian, you have nothing to do with the Chicago Bears organization. Why don't you come help us figure this stuff out? And Bill said, sure. Hey, have you met my friend Trace who used to play for you? And he said, well, no, I've never met Trace personally because I wouldn't sully myself to speak with actual players. But, let's meet with Trace. And Trace has a litany of people that he can hire. And all that money's rolling into Trace. Trace is the happiest guy he could possibly be because he's definitely found one of them all-day suckers you were describing earlier on. And, how many licks does it take to get to the center for Tootsie Roll? In any event, Trace is making mad money. His clientele's super happy. And, they get fired all the time, but they're getting paid. So it is what it is. But
I'm like Bear Truth 9. Why ain't Warren? Is Warren one of them too?
Yes. Look,
everybody wants to see it on that sucker.
Bro, I'm Kevin Warren. I've been Kevin Warren. I've been Kevin Warren, man. Kevin Warren's getting an awesome paycheck. He gets to wear blue suits and orange ties. And he will continue to make awesome paychecks. He'll live it up. He'll hug people. He'll kiss babies. He'll shake hands. A stadium will never be built. And he'll be out of here.
Hey, dude.
Now, if he's even smarter than I think, he'll stick around and maybe build the stadium because that means that they will continue to pay him until his dying day, much like Ted Phillips.
Kids, let me explain something to you, man. I know you live in Canada. I know there's streets and there's those elements in Canada. Man, we live in the Chicago area. We come up around here. Let me tell you something. When a motherfucker around here find an easy lick, and they find an easy lick, would you tell him, Trip? Would you tell him when they find an easy lick, what's gonna happen?
We gonna milk that cow.
You know what I'm saying?
We gonna make some cheese. We're gonna get some cream. We're gonna make some ice cream.
Make some soup.
Man, dude, when you find an easy lick like that, man, everybody gonna line up to get that motherfucker.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Everybody say, "Oh, but Kevin Warren won't have this. Kevin Warren won't have Matt Eberflus. He's at his wits end with Matt Eberflus." Yo, Kevin Warren getting paid, y'all.
Yeah, he nothing right up to that. Make one of them McCaskey teats.
Hey, let's ruffle feathers and go talk to the McCaskey. Let's go ruffle. Wait a minute. I just get paid to walk around here and talk about a building that doesn't even exist. I want to mess with that. Hey, man, y'all do the football thing. Y'all fucking it up anyways. My checks are clearing.
Nod, you are not is dead ass right.
Gravy train.
This motherfucker is a gravy train.
Milk in it.
We sell these motherfuckers anything. Get up in there and get some check.
How many years have been trying to build this damn stadium now?
Get up in there and get you a fucking check. I got you faded. If I'm Trace Armstrong, I got you covered. You can get up in here and get you a check.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, Warren has a nice resume and all. You know, Crimson is saying there in the chat, no maniac. But it's like, well, shit. I mean, but now he can make how much does Kevin Warren make a year? How many millions?
Ooh, I don't even know. Nobody would know that.
So yeah, Crimson. This is a good point though. Like, yes, Kevin Warren has a resume. I'm not saying he never did anything. You know what I mean? Like, he's done things that realistically put him in a fantastic position to be the VP of the Chicago Bears. But now that he is, He doesn't have to do anything.
You know
what I'm
what?
saying?
I gotta say this, man, and I'm saying this with straight up just in earnest, man. I don't like it. The fact that people are lining up to take their licks at George McCaskey.
100-year-old lady.
George McCaskey on the surface, I don't know the man, never met him, never talked to him, don't know nothing about him, but he seemed like a genuinely nice guy in a world, and he's in a Shark Tank and he's bleeding. You know what I mean? He's in a Shark Tank and he's bleeding, and everybody want to bite. You know
Get
what I mean?
out the Shark Tank, bro.
Man, I think that's
Get out the Shark Tank.
Well, but I mean, the thing is, he's been born into money. He's always had money. He's never had like a real job. You know, he's never built a business, so he doesn't know that he's in the tank getting nibbled at all the time. He thinks that's just what it is. You know, so he doesn't have any.
This is what drives me crazy.
Any motivation to get out of the tank because the organization is worth what, $10 billion or some shit.
This is what drives me crazy. Basically, he had his homeboy working for them, and that guy milked the cows too, like no question. Teddy milked it till the cows came home and then left. And now he's like, okay, so like, what do we do? The fact is, these people should have been out of the football business, and I don't mean sell the team. I just mean the team shouldn't be their primary source of revenue. You can do with billions of dollars, like you're making $1 billion. The amount of investments you could make that could generate, multiple revenue streams is astronomical. Any businessman worth half his salt could have a conversation with the McCaskies about real estate. I know we want to build a stadium, but let's just build a hotel. Let's make some money. Let's make some money. There's so many different ways to make money when you have money. And there's little to no excuse. Just pay a guy to help you do that. And that guy was supposed to be Ted Phillips, and he milked them for decades. Now we got Kevin in there, and Kevin gonna tell you next week we'll have a stadium soon. It's gonna be in a location. That's what we're gonna hear, because there's never gonna be a stadium. It's been 20 years.
I can't let the conversation descend to attacking Kevin Warren. I'm sorry, Kevin. He's probably to do a certain thing now.
I'm sorry. Fire your head coach,
well,
Kevin.
This is less of an attack on Kevin Warren from me and more of a McCaskey attack.
Fair. I'll leave Kevin. I'll leave you alone. I'll never talk about you again. Fire the damn head coach. Get him the hell out of there. Punch him into the sun.
Hey, listen, man.
Let Tory Taylor, the 4th round pick, punch him into the sun.
I mean, like, just think as Bears fans, just real quick question. Just think on it metaphorically for just real quick. What have you seen from the head coaching antics of Matt Eberflus that gives you confidence that going forward he can be a winning head coach?
Remember that time, Trip, when Matt Eberflus did that thing and we won the game?
No, I don't.
Exactly.
Because it never fucking happened.
I'm going to continue to do this until it actually does happen. Maybe I'll shut up, but then I'll say, like, remember that one time. You know what I'm saying? He's never done anything to win a football game in his history as a head coach. A single thing, nothing.
Man, the man's a dead man walking. Listen, let me point out something. I got to give a shout out and be clear about.
Oh wait, shit! The spell has been broken. You see what Don Bird posted?
Bro, the power of polls compels me to walk. It'll take a long.
Y'all barely got out of that one, so shut the fuck up, Don. Y'all just barely got out of that game, so I don't want to hear your goddamn mouth. But listen, let me talk about something. Lawrence Holmes with 670 to score, who I don't know personally, never met him. All I know is he's a reporter, a writer, radio host. That's all I know about Lawrence. But of the guys at 670 to score, he's one of them that I can actually stomach. It's that motherfucker with the long neck, man. That weird ass motherfucker. He's a weirdo, man. He went to some other channel, man. But that son of a bitch right there, I'd karate chop him the shit out of his neck. But that's another thing. But Lawrence Holmes, House of Ill podcast. Shout out to Lawrence Holmes, man. Y'all check his podcast out. He's trying to branch out and do his own thing after the whole thing with sports. I mean, what was it? NBC Sports Chicago. All those guys, Alex Shapiro included, all those guys, Glenn Morgan, they're trying to pick it up from that, man. They're trying to move on. So go support Lawrence Holmes, man. He's one of the guys I can stomach over there. But let me say what I got to say about him. He mentioned something. We're talking about Caleb in particular. I found this to be very intriguing. He was talking to Coach Wanstead, and I think this was some years ago. And he was asking him about how he deal with his quarterbacks, and I think he was in Miami at the time. He said he had the system rigged so that a bullhorn would go off every 2.7 seconds when the quarterback went out for a drop. So every 2.7 seconds you'd hear 2.7 seconds you'd hear and so I could imagine, kids. Why am I speaking to this right now? I thought that was a profound thing, and I think that's something that the Bears could use right now. Someone with that mindset that can come in there on the offense and train him to have the muscle memory to hear this timer that's going off in his head at 2.7 seconds. That's actually early. But if he hears it at 2.7, he's going to know I need to either throw this ball or start moving. You get what I'm going, kids?
I do.
I thought that was profound. I had never heard that, but I can actually see that working in a quarterback's muscle memory who's struggling to know when the fuck to get rid of the ball or run. And so just shout out to Lawrence Holmes for that. I thought that was profound right there.
Yeah, that's profound and all, but I'm not comfortable at all as a fan with the thought that, first of all, he's short, which is a physical thing. But I'm not comfortable with the fact that we took this guy number one and he doesn't know how to get the ball out on time. You know, that's an issue that we have to teach him how to get a rhythm going and quick release. It's like, all right, why was he number one? What is his thing? I mean, what I mean, so we've determined that he's not a good deep passer. We've determined that he doesn't get the ball out on time. We've determined that he doesn't throw guys open. All right, he can scramble around and throw from different arm angles. What else does he bring to the table?
Trip, let me tell you something, man. I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't gotten there yet, but man, I'm telling you, dude. Yeah, I heard there's something, guys. There was something reported. I think Sylvie might have started that. Some other guys online. There was a report coming out of Halas Hall that the players on offense approached the coaches and was just like, man, we need to sit Caleb and bring Tyson Bagent in because he ain't got it right now, man. Something's broke.
No, it's not. We in for a penny, we in for a pound, because what we could have gotten in trade for that number one pick and taken a different quarterback or kept Justin Fields, whichever, because the world was your oyster at that time. We took this guy. Why? When does he put the team on his shoulders and take control? You know, like he's always professed he would. What is his thing? What does he do good? Because right now we're not seeing anything that makes him stand out above the two quarterbacks that we just saw in Jaden Daniels, who's doing what they ask him to do, and Drake May, who's doing what they ask him to do. You know, nothing more, nothing less, nothing really special, but they are able to, you know, read a defense at least enough to where the play is called, and if it's not there, they take off and they run and slide down. So, I mean, 9 fucking sacks, and not all of them on the offensive line. Some of that's on the kid, but I can't put it all on the kid because of the situation that he's being coached in, which isn't his fault. But just as an aside, I'm not seeing the whole, well, what does he do good?
Trips, you can hear a report like that guys on the offense went to the coaches and said, man, we need to sit Caleb and start Tyson Bagent to get this thing going. You can look at that as either they done what they don't like him and all that other kind of negative stuff that can come with it, or you can just look at it as guys that work their ass off and want to get this thing unlocked, noticing that this guy right now is rattled and shaken and he ain't gonna get us no wins right now. Put Tyson in, let him sit down. Could two things be the same? Could we be? You can say that without throwing Caleb Williams under the bus.
Right.
It could be true that they want to get Tyson Bagent in because right now he ain't getting it.
Yeah, both
And
those
plus,
things are true.
and now before I started to cut you off, but it's also good. It's like not to, let Tyson Bagent come in just to get beat up, but he's been out there flipping tractor tires and shit. I would rather have him back there taking those hits than a first first pick quarterback. Go ahead, kids.
No, that's really where I was going. I think both those things are true. Look, there's been some high drafted quarterbacks in the NFL, and I have to say, Caleb, for all intents and purposes, is not playing like a number 1 overall draft pick, right? You expect to play that player at whatever position he's playing in, and that guy's a difference maker, and he's not. Facts, right? So I'm going to leave that there for folks to think about, but the other side of this is that if you leave the kid out there, you've invested that number 1 draft pick in him. He's an investment. With that offensive line, he very likely will get hurt. It's only a matter of time. If we're talking about a 9-sack game last game, let alone all the other sacks he's taken this season, because it's a litany, y'all. Like, he's trending into, I think he's number 2 all-time sacks. And that's crazy talk. I hope I'm wrong with that, right? But yeah, maybe you want to sit the kid so he can get the opportunity to look and learn. And this is like I wish I was right when I'm gambling or when I'm like in a situation where I can make scads of cash. I tend to be wrong in those situations. But when it came to this whole deal, I was pretty much bang on. You didn't sit the kid. You rushed him out there. Here we are, week. I probably could have timed it with a stopwatch. Here we are. He's faltering. No coaches have any idea what they're doing. We're in major trouble.
Guess what, guys? Now let's wheel it all the way on back, kids, and trip.
And it's back around
to the very essence of the conversation while we're doing this show. And that is Shane Waldron, who's been scapegoated, in my opinion. Let's get back there because and there's no way in fucking hell nobody can tell me at the peak when these guys were stacking a few wins that you was averaging 31 points a game. And all of a sudden, this offensive coordinator just forgot how to fucking call plays. There's something wrong here, but where the wrong is, where you point the finger at the wrong and the blame, it's going to be a lot of people that say the offensive line. I get that. That's also true. They're injured. But this offensive line has given this kid opportunities, man. He's given time. And I'm telling you, kids and trips, I seen a video that's floating around social media where Caleb got sacked and he just laid there like somebody shot him and nobody came to pick him up. In fact, one of the players from the opposite team came and picked him up and patted him on the head. That's going rampant on social media. That told me something. That was a tell to me. And a lot of people be like, well, hold up, Nomad, you just doing extra right now. No, man, when they're not there to rally you and get you up off the ground, there's something going on there. I don't know what y'all think about that, but to me, I see something as a former player like, that ain't cool, bro.
I mean, remember when a few weeks ago when DJ had to clarify his comments that Caleb was bossy? And he's like, no, I meant in a good want to win, competitive kind of way is what I actually meant. But yeah, just looking at the dude get pummeled back there in the pocket, granted that the majority of those linemen were backups and maybe their mentals weren't, I got to protect my quarterback. They're just like, wow, I'm on the NFL field. What do I do next? Or it could be, it's like, dude, we're blocking for you and you're not getting the ball out, making us look bad. So we're giving up sacks that are on you, but we're going to get blamed for them. And so there could be some of that going on. And it could be just a disconnect of, it's like, hey, man, you came in here talking all that shit since the draft about how you was the next coming of the all-star quarterback. And now you're looking like this out here and can't complete, anything. And it could, be just the mentals of him hitting that rookie realization that it's like, oh, damn, these are professional athletes out here playing football. And, he hasn't found his stride. I don't know. I mean, but it's definitely a psychological disconnect amongst the teammates.
Definitely, right? A lot of that ineptitude will weigh on all of these players. Like I'm going to jump away and come back here. I was just thinking a little bit earlier. I was watching Jalen Johnson's his take on all this earlier on with Lawrence Holmes, etc. And I stopped and I was like, man, this team's just going to ruin this guy, man. You know what I mean? Like, Jalen Johnson's a Pro Bowl caliber corner, and he's not going to get any shine. He gets overlooked year on year, and it's because of situations like this, right? Moving back to Caleb Williams, really why I brought up Jalen is that this negative connotation, it drives the offensive line. Guys are going to get fired. We just saw a coach get fired. I don't see any of those guys on that line being here this time next year. Name a guy. Darnell Wright. You know what I mean? Like most of these guys are going to be shipped out. It's not working. Who do you retain?
You know what, kids? It's again.
I'm just
go back to the all 22 kids because I'm telling you, dude, some of these dudes are playing better than you think they're playing. There's only about 3.5, maybe 4 when you're rich as an offensive line and that can protect that long. You start getting into 5, 6, 7 seconds to throw the ball. You got a absolute monsoon dominant fucking offensive line that can smother anybody. We don't have that. What is this shit here? Okay. But we don't have that. But what you have is guys that are playing up to their level. You got Larry Bourne. Larry Bourne can be all Larry Bourne, and it still might not be good enough. So can Braxton Jones. Tevin Jenkins has his limitations.
Yeah, but
God knows Coleman Shelton has his limitations. But I tell you one guy that I thought played very fucking well on that offensive line, and that was Ryan Bates. And then you had who was on the other side there? Help me out.
Kramer after Ted went out.
What'd you say, Trip?
Oh, you mean on the right guard?
Yeah, Matt Pryor got pushed out the right tackle, and he's got all that muscle memory going on at right guard, and then all of a sudden, boom, I got to kick out. And so God, forgive him. You know what I mean? Some of these guys are playing to their level. It's the quarterback has to understand the situation and know that, hey man, you got a patched up offensive line, dude. You got to either get rid of this motherfucker or you got to take off and run. And you got probably 3-point-something seconds to do it too. He's not got that timer's not going off in his head. He's expecting this luxury back there that he's not getting.
I know, like what I was trying to really say here I wasn't really trying to take a shot at the offensive line. If it sounded like that, sorry. What I'm really trying to say is that those guys are grown men with jobs and livelihoods that are being affected by the negative play of the offense. Whether they're here or not, the dollars and cents they're going to be able to make is affected by him holding that ball that you just described. So at some point when nothing's working out at all, I want to get paid next year. I want to be able to get that money and get that bag, just like everybody else on this line. This guy ain't working out, and I'm never going to get that back. I'm just giving you a look into the psyche of those offensive linemen in a situation like that versus the psyche of the quarterback who's doing the exact opposite. He's looking at the situation and saying, these guys suck. I'm on my back. It's their fault. Right? So there's now a dichotomy between the offensive line and the quarterback. And it was pretty clear to see last week nothing was working. So if that's to continue on, such is life. I'm just going to say you might as well put the kid back, put the kid back in the baby wrap, put him in the bubble wrap, bench him, sit him down so he gets the feel of what's going on and where he's making missteps and what can be improved. More importantly, just so he doesn't get hurt.
Kids, here's the thing with that. And this is some true, you got to be in the building, you got to be up close and personal with this kid to know what kind of psyche he has, right? What you're saying has all kinds of goddamn common sense to it. Everything you just said. But what is it to this guy that we're gonna make this move with? What is it gonna do to him? Will it make him? Will it break him?
So you're saying we got to find the right invisible juice for him.
Mhm.
I mean, you got to figure out something. You got to know what this kid is made of. That's
what you're supposed to figure out during the whole scouting process, Ryan Paul.
True.
True. Bro, I did my best to avoid that. You know what I mean? I did my best to avoid it. But again, one more thing we kind of need to talk about before we let Caleb completely off the hook. Because again, we drafted him. He's our quarterback. I fully support him. And I will continue to support him even in a benching. Bro, we love you. We want you to be successful. It's about that simple. It ain't working right now. Something has to change. And I think as a universal consensus, I don't think anybody in the world believes that the change that needed to happen this week was firing the one guy who knows how to call offensive plays in the building. I don't think that was the move. I think the move was firing the head coach. Meanwhile, we're going to trot out Caleb again, and he might have a hard time. I don't see anything positive happening by way of that. I just don't.
You know what, kid?
Well, the only thing I can see positive happening is if what is he, offensive coordinator Brown now? What are we calling him? Is he interim offensive coordinator?
I like that.
Well, whatever the fuck he is.
He's the IOC.
Interim offensive coordinator Brown. Yeah, that's a mouthful.
All
right, so we just got to hope that he can bring whatever it is that separates him from Waldron, because he's been here this time watching Waldron do what Waldron was doing. And, are they having side meetings? It's like, yeah, I know Shane is telling you to do this. Well, here's the best way to do that. Is he – obviously you don't want coaches bitching to players or second-guessing coaches in front of players. But, how much of a football guy is looking at another football guy, one happens to be a player, one happens to be a coach, after the offensive coordinator says some crazy shit about some kind of route combination? Do they kind of look at each other in that football look like, the fuck is he talking about? That shit ain't going to work. And is there that respect on that level where maybe they can communicate better? So it's like, look, Caleb does this very well, so let's run some plays that accentuate that.
Okay.
What the bad thing is, and I'm about to shift this focus over to I'm not shifting anything because we've been here, but I'm a bullseye this motherfucker right here, because we talking about a head coach that's had 2 quarterbacks drafted in the top 12. Talking about Justin, and we're talking about Caleb Williams, and awful shit has happened to both of them. He's had 2 offensive coordinators at this point. Awful shit's happened. There's a lot of people out here that say that there's no way in hell he should have had another crack at another offensive coordinator. He should have been gone. Nobody. He should have. Yes.
Yeah, that guy.
No way in hell that he's supposed to have another crack at an offensive coordinator. The next move, if something goes left, should have been that motherfucker.
Yeah,
no,
right.
not another offensive coordinator. Hell no. Because you ain't gonna tell me those 2 quarterbacks is all fucked up and there's nothing else. There's nothing else wrong. That's some bullshit. I've been an Eberflus defender. I can't defend that motherfucker no more. So there's a through line in this. And it starts with the head coach. And I'm telling you, I see the bottom of the pants, and there's a string, and that son bitch is coming loose, and people that string is getting tugged on and pulled. Everything's coming loose now.
One of the most famous movie quotes ever is when Die Hard said in Die Hard, "Welcome to the party, pal." It's like, it only takes so long for some people to see that it's like, yeah, Flus ain't it. But now here we are, And season 3, game 8 or whatever the fuck. And it's like, yeah, Flus ain't it. It's like, yeah, told you that a long time ago.
Man, dude.
I gotta laugh, man, because you know what I mean. Like I say, he's a glass half full guy, man. He's gonna pull for Flus, and I'm glad he does, because I've been like, I don't see it this whole time. I'm like, this dude don't know when to call a timeout. I play John Madden football. I have an idea when to call a timeout. Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Maybe I'm
stupid. Like a 2-minute offense. Oh, that's something different.
What's going on here, right? Like. When the football makes you second guess your own intelligence, like you're watching Chicago Bears football is basically the answer to this. Man, I don't know. He's a terrible coach, and again, I think he's a fantastic DC and will be elsewhere in the world. But at this point, man,
I'm out. Like this, kid. You gotta look at it this way. Now.
Even Nomad's out.
You got to look at it this way. That there has been, like nobody knew Mike Tomlin would turn out to be probably a Hall of Fame coach. Nobody really knew who the fuck Mike Tomlin was until he got hired. And everybody found out he had some Tony Dungy background and all the kind of shit like that. Nobody knew John Harbaugh was going to be a hell of a coach. Man, this dude is awesome. You know why? Because he hires the right people, they draft the right people, and they've got a good structure and a fucking culture there that works, and everybody fits into what that's going on. I could have seen Matt Eberflus building that same type of structure going on here. So I was with him so long as I could be. Give him the benefit of the doubt. I was with Justin so long as I could be. Give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm with Caleb. So long as I can be, give them the benefit of the doubt. If that helps you understand my mindset, I'm just not ready to run out and be like, hey, man, we need to get that solves nothing. Hurrying up and firing everybody, cutting people, and all that old crazy shit. You got to give people a chance. And so, speaking to my point of view, I was going to give him every bit of the opportunity that I think every head coach in this league deserves. He's run out of those. And I can no longer defend that, man. I'm looking at a guy that's not capable of keeping this shit together. I'm reading the players more than I'm reading anything else. I'm looking at 22.
We gotta let it play out.
Anything else, and it's all fucked up.
Well, that's what's fucked up is because this is a team that we love, right? This is our beloved Chicago Bears, the Bears, and we're looking at situations that when we get the quarterback or the talent, we can't develop it. And then when we have issues, it's the same issue, regime after regime after regime. And then you look up and it's like, well, the coordinators never get to hire their own staff. The managers never get to hire their own coordinators and coaches and all that. And it's just the same cycle over and over and over again. And it's like, God damn, it's just the same shit. And it's like, well, we're going to try this now. And it's like, you're just trying the same thing. Because I saw something that was like, what was it? Lovey was fired after a 10-6 season, but Flus gets to stay after like Owen, whatever the fuck. It's like, well, what is going on here? What the fuck is going on here?
I got to address Daryl Gibson. This is now I'm gonna get into this, man. Daryl Gibson, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Not because you paid for this, but because what you're saying right now leads me to a point. Ownership wouldn't let Poles fire Flus, and Flus is throwing Poles QB under the bus if Caleb Williams gets rolled at Green Bay. Think about this too. Think about what Daryl just said there. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for the super chat. Think about what he's just saying there. Can't you remember at the very end of that game when it was very clear that Caleb Williams it was over for him. Sit your ass down to get the backup in. It was like the game was over. No reason for him to be in the game. All you're doing is risking injury right now. And he was kept on the field. And so that helps lead to Daryl Gibson's comment. Like, what the fuck is really going on? We got a power dynamic. I can remember Flus at this podium the other day talking about we're gonna make some changes and we don't know exactly what they are. We're going through it, but it's my choice. It's like he superseded. Like we don't give a fuck what Ryan Poles says. It's my choice who goes or who comes, who stays or who goes. And so, do we have a real power dynamic going on inside that building where somebody's got a tenure and he can kind of do what he wants to do, and Ryan Poles can't say shit? Do we have that situation going on?
Does it remember when Poles came in and him and Flus was connected at the hip, buddy, right from the jump? And it's like Poles didn't like pre-hire Flus or anything. It was like, well, when I get a GM job, you're going to be my guy. That happened after they got here. So that was kind of a McCaskey thing of saying, hey, Poles, this Flus, he's your head coach. Y'all work together. And so they got on the same page at what, players or talent type that Flus wanted to run. So it just seems like a match made in Halas Hall, as opposed to Ryan Poles saying, hey, I want to hire Flus as my head coach. And now, even if he wants to fire Flus is like, yeah, fuck you. I got your juice.
A match made in Halas Hall. Beautiful. What are you saying, dude?
That was nice.
It's a maybe.
That was a nice one. My thing here is that's exactly what happened, because again, Polian, Trace Armstrong, the weirdest, and I swear they did this on purpose, just the weirdest organizational structure of all time. Okay, let's hire the general manager first. Sorry, let's interview the coaches first, then hire the GM, force the coach on the GM, and then hire their boss? So the boss didn't hire any of these guys. The coach was basically hired before the GM was. They just didn't tell him. And here we are. And we wonder if there's a power dynamic. None of this makes any sense. Like in a normal business, you hire a director, the director or VP. VP hires the director hires the GM, and it goes, they report to each other. There's a chain of command. The chain of command is foobarred. I'm using good words here. You know what I'm saying? Like it is messed up beyond recognition, just as by way of chain of command. So who runs the show? Is it Ryan? Cool. Because if it's Ryan, you screwed it all up, bro. You should have fired the coach when you had the opportunity and brought in a whole new staff for your quarterback when you made the decision to go with quarterback. Been saying it, I'll say it again. Somehow, we're just leaking out coordinators of all kinds, defensive, offensive, doesn't matter where it is at this point, just to keep Matt Eberflus afloat in Halas Hall. What is the point of this? Why are you doing this?
I'll tell you one thing, kids. I don't know if Matt Eberflus is a drinker, but he might consider picking that shit up as a hobby, man. Because I've seen that guy at the press I watch every press.
Man, one of them damn bees sting his ass.
Hey, dude, let me tell you something, man. I've seen that guy, like the last time I've seen anything close to what I've seen in this one. This is isolated. What I've seen this most recent press conference, I seen absolute stress on that motherfucker. I mean, stress. I seen worry when Alan Williams, all that shit jumped off with him. That's the only thing.
Oh, you mean when he put his pee-pee in the mashed potatoes in the cafeteria?
Don't eat the mashed potatoes at Halas Hall,
Those are known as the defensive coordinator specials.
Oh, gee.
I love you, Trips, man. You stupid motherfucker, man. But even thinking that, golly, man. You know what? But I'm telling you, if you watch all the pressers like I do, and I'm picking up on stuff, I've never seen that motherfucker need to start drinking if he don't. Because golly, he's struggling, man.
Well,
I mean,
what part of that, if you're Ryan Poles or Kevin Warren, who've been around professional organizations, inspire any confidence in your team if like, oh, that's our head coach? This pussyfooting dude behind the podium?
Man, I think okay, so I know at least, kids, at least you've been in a locker room, right? In a locker room.
Yeah.
All right. I know for a fact, Trips, you done played enough to know that when you go in a locker room, you got all these motherfuckers in there that's from all over the place and different backgrounds. And when you go in there, you need to capture that room, right? If you the leader in that mother, you got to go in there and you got to capture the room. You got to get everybody's attention. Not one, not two, three. Every last one of them motherfuckers, you need to have their attention when you walked in there. And I believe Flus up to that I'm telling you, that fateful Hail Mary and what he did after that had everybody's attention when he walked in that room. Now, I think he walks in the room, there's just like, man, this motherfucker come again.
Right. You know, it's like that.
Of course.
That substitute teacher in school is like, you know, you pay attention to your teacher because you know you get in trouble or your grade, whatever. But the sub come in, it's like, oh, we on vacay today. And as soon as Flus sold down the team down the river for the last time, talking about what we need to execute, and you know, it's none of it's, you know, reflecting on him. It's like the players is just like, you know what? Substitute time. That's what Flus is now. And they don't just, I mean, it's just so fucked up because now they're coming into the toughest part of the goddamn season and they're fractured as a team, you know. And it's like,
Cheers,
all
Rick
right.
Lee.
They ain't fucking with him. Would y'all, am I on my own when I say that I don't think the players on the team are really fucking with Flus no more?
Of course, bro. You're not even.
They're done. They're done.
They're finished. They're finished. Like the minute you saw the defense start to regress, you know what it is. That defense plays hit principle. That's what they're all about, and they do it week on week on week. And at some point, 3 weeks ago, I guess that was the point. 3 weeks ago, they stopped and they're like, you know what? Yeah, this dude don't get it. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. And what he doesn't get is that he doesn't.
If I'd have said that in the past, one of you two motherfuckers would have disagreed with me.
Because it hadn't happened yet.
Y'all would have said he still got some connectivity in there.
Yeah, right? Because it hadn't happened yet. He did, like, again, and part of retaining the losingest coach in NFL history is that cachet carries over. At some point, you're going to be like, man, I'm going to listen to this guy who says we shouldn't guard the side. He told us not to guard the side, and he's never won he's won like 0 games. Why are we listening to this guy for?
It's gone.
He doesn't win games.
I can testify to you that I've been through some shit in my life, been through some situations, some locker rooms, and I've seen guys lose locker rooms. I've seen guys pick up locker rooms. I've seen coaches around the building that, like, man, I wish he was the head coach type shit. Like, this motherfucker, he gets people's attention and people fuck with this guy. I've seen guys, but I've never seen somebody go in there and have pretty much he had these guys. These guys. And I think, Trips, me and you had a little disagreement about what to do with Tyreek Stevenson. And I said it pretty clearly, man, that I felt like it depends on how he does this, how he goes about the discipline about this. If he goes and just folds to the media and says, I'm going to do this, you know what I mean? And not take that through the team and the leadership group and say, what do y'all think about doing this to Tyreek Stevenson? And they huddle up and say, you know what, coach, we got Tyreek. Don't worry about it. If you want to give him a fine the shit out of him.
Well, but that's where it
happened right there, Trips. I'm telling you, bro.
That's where it went right there off the rails, because they're like, hey, we got this players leadership group. We think Tyreek fucked up and this is what should happen. Right then and right fucking there, the head coach needs to say, thank you for your input. The punishment doled out will be his punishment, whatever the fuck I decide. Now y'all get your ass back to the locker room, get ready for practice. And now the player leadership group is like, oh, damn, all right. Accountability. Nobody's messing around. We're not changing his mind. He's fair. because he's going to explain, why this punishment is what it is. But this is a team. What coach says goes, not what, oh, well, we voted on this and we feel like this, or the media said this and they were mean to you saying these comments, so you flip-flop here. It's like, nah, if you're going to punish him, you punish him. If you're not going to punish him, you're not going to punish him. But you make that decision, not the Players Leadership Council, not the media, nobody else.
Trips. It works partially.
That's how you keep a locker room as a head coach.
So if let's just say we are all teammates in there and they set this council up, it's all in how they set this up. If they set the council up so that when you have issues, hey man, these two motherfuckers keep going at it every time they see each other. And I don't want to have to address them before y'all have to address them. Talking to the leadership. Hey, if Kyler and say Coleman Shelton is getting in their fist fights in the locker room every time they see each other, they got a fucking problem, right? All right, I can talk to these guys, but I want you guys to see what you can do. All right, we talked to them, man, and we can't get to no bottom line. All right, take it to the coach. I'm gonna deal with it then. Get them in there, you deal with them. But if you've got this shit set up so that when some shit goes down, and I'm going to lean and favor what you guys tell me is the best thing to do under the circumstances, which is what I think is going on in that building. Just off a whim, I don't know for sure. It seems to me like, some shit like what happened with Tyreek ain't no like team infraction and ain't no off the field infraction that is strictly coaches shit that coaches have to deal with. This is an in-game situation that happened, and there needs to be a response to it. The level of response to it, I guess, to the players came off as, really, did we really need that, man? After you brought this to us, and we handled Tyreek. You said you was going to find him. That should have been enough. But to go out there and grandstand in front of the media, who's trying to give you cues as to what they want you to do with Tyreek Stevenson, that ain't gonna reverberate right. But with the rest of us, you barely hanging on to us. And to me, that's what's going on in that locker room. He fucked this up in that regard.
Well, real quick, Kez, before you go, because remember, this was the leadership council that had to come to Waldron to tell him how to be coached. Where was Flus observing how Waldron was coaching his offense? This is football. Is he playing tiddlywinks out there? What's going on?
No,
and it's like,
I'll tell you where he was basically doing Eric Washington's job. Like I would love to talk to Eric Washington outside of this. I don't know. I'm not sure what he does. I'm trying to figure it out. Just me, and I'm not saying he should be fired because he ain't doing anything. I don't think he's allowed to do anything, which sits him in an awesome position where he's making a bunch of cash doing nothing. But Flus is doing that job, so he's not paying attention to anything else that's happening here, right? I don't know, guys. I'm well done with Matt Eberflus. If we're looking at the actual trajectory and how we got here, it's because he did not step in front of the bullet and own the situation for what it was. And what it was, let's not get it confused, was a massive Matt Eberflus clusterfuck. Like, pardon my language. That's what it was. As much as everybody wants to point the finger at the player for being, out of position and off his game, he was. But there's a coach. There are coaches. There are timeouts. There's things that can be done to mitigate situations like that. None of them were done. To make matters worse, none of them were done the play before. None of them were done earlier in the game. There's a laundry list of stuff that happened before that Fail Mary pass actually went down that all point to the head coach. So the head coach needed to come out and say, look, that game loss was on me. Tyreek Stevenson was on me. It was all on me. I take the bullet and actually speak to hey, what did you do wrong? I should have called the timeout. I should have challenged that play. I should have called the timeout when Tyreek was out of position. I should have called the timeout when, to discuss that play before the Fail Mary. All of that stuff should have happened. None of it happened. It was all effing Flus. No two ways about this. the fact that Tariq was actually punished about this, when they go and they talk to the leadership team and you have a conversation as a leader, just sort of along the lines of what you're saying, Triple R, it should have been, look, I'm going to punish Tariq. Here's what we're going to do. How do you guys feel about it? And you take the information. Look, thanks for sharing the information with me, guys. I understand how you feel, but we're going to do this. Or maybe you pivot if you decide to pivot. It's up to you. Ultimately, it's up to you. And the fact of the matter here, I don't think he told them. I'm just saying, I don't think he told them when they had that meeting, because Kevin Bard came out maybe a day before the actual punishment came out and said, yeah, we're going to embrace Tariq. There's likely not going to be any punishment. We don't feel there's a need for it.
Well,
now let me ask you this, Nomad, before you tell us that. As a player, who's, observed this team since Flus has been here, and let's only count last season as the talent has been upgraded. How many times as a player do you have to see your head coach, mess up some of the head coaching decisions, like when to challenge or when to call a timeout or what personnel's on the field? And how many times can a coach say, hey, we need to execute, as opposed to saying, yeah, I put the guys in a bad situation there? How many times you hear that before you're out on the coach?
Apparently, that he's ran those cards out, man. He played that card one too many times.
No, he played it too late.
No. He played that card. It's like what Trips is saying is, okay, we covered you every other time you said that in certain situations. Now you playing that card one too many times, and you ain't even got them cards. You pulling that shit out of your sleeve, and you expect us to just go out there and take that and go out there and cover you, man. We tired of that. We told you that it wasn't necessary to suspend Tyreek, but you didn't listen to us.
You got to react from that, right? It gets a bit worse, because he also throws the players under the bus by saying that they do not execute in that situation. So now he's lied. He's scapegoated the players, much like Shane Waldron. He's scapegoated the players. He's lied about it. Then what happens? The media gets, their ears get piqued. Wait a minute. Like, we've been gaslighted. We've been BS'd. Let's talk to the players. How did they feel about how things went down? And the players give their honest opinion. Then he silences the players. So he won't take accountability. He'll throw the players under the bus. And then he's silencing the players. Like the look on DJ Moore's face this week. Did you see any of the DJ Moore?
Kids, I'm helping you out. When you saw Jalen go to the sidelines and jump on Flus, like, hey, man, call a goddamn timeout, champ.
Yeah.
When you saw that, that should have been a tell to everybody in the organization. To everybody in the organization.
That's
to
a
the
tell.
PMG.
You're right. I'm just saying it's a tell, like 3 seasons too late. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy has no clue what to do with those things. No idea. And it's brutal and obvious, and folks should see it. My point being, how you lose the locker room again, throw everybody under the bus, take no accountability, lie about what you're doing, and then silence your players. It's a formula. You can write that down somewhere and make a bag of crap with it. But that's a formula to losing your locker room. I guarantee you.
So what I'm saying to you guys right now is you only get so many times to go out there and not do that, what you said. Because if you notice, and every No Maniac here watching the show right now can tell me with a thumbs up, if you've noticed in the last, let's just say 72 hours or since that game happened, let's just say before, no, I'll take that back. Let's go a week back when they lost the Cardinals game. You all of a sudden start hearing that's all on me at the presser. Yeah. It's all on me. It starts with me. It's
too much, too little, too late to ever love again.
He passed that ball. He passed that buck too many times.
No, somebody came down. It's not too many times. It's that he never did it before in his career as a coach. So what happened is somebody at Halas Hall, part of the media team, probably went, hey, bro, what's wrong with you? You threw everybody under the bus. You took no accountability. Everybody hates you. How are you going to fix this? The only way you can maybe fix this is by falling on your sword now, but they all hate you, bro.
It's
So
over.
now it's you know what I mean? Now it's it's all my fault.
It's
It was all me. I take responsibility for everything. It's all head coach now. 3 years later, failure later.
It's
too much, too little, too late. It's over, cause it's over.
man, you
My
get to
guy's
play,
singing
you
the-
get to
singing the
play
hits.
that. You get to play that card so many times before you got to own it yourself. I didn't get my team prepared. It's on me. We didn't do enough this week to make sure everybody was on point where they needed to be for this game. I failed the quarterback. I failed the defense. I failed the offense. All those opportunities he missed over this time. He never did that until the kettle started whistling and simmering.
Oh, Kittle was busted.
Right. Well, here's one question that we can all point to. As many times as this team has come out flat, to start games on offense and defense, and as many times he said, well, we got to look at the film and we got to get ready and plan for it. He has never done it. This team is still not ready to play at kickoff. And, why, how, as his boss, if that's what Ryan Poles is, can look at that and be like, yeah, I have faith in this guy going forward. He hasn't yet to do it. And this is something that he verbally says every goddamn week after every goddamn loss. And it's yet to change.
But it's like this. If you were to watch a practice like after a game, right? If you watch a practice after a game, let's just say we was all on the same team and we went out there and had the most false starts of any team in whatever division we're playing in. We just false start the shit out of this team. What do you expect in that next practice is going to be the emphasis of the practice when you're a head coach?
After your punitive damage of running laps, you're going to go over how not to false start.
You're going to go over there to the offensive line and say, we getting these motherfuckers together. We're going to drill the shit out of them until when it come to this next game, they're going to know. Hey, goddamn it, until you see that ball move, don't you fucking move. That's what you're going to have to do. And then that's how you got to dig in people's asses. It's just little things like that.
No Diddy.
Saying that is, yeah, that was wrong. That's some private conversation I'll be having all the time. But that's the wrong words. But that's where you got to go. And when shit don't go right, you got to be that kind of specific. Like, hey, man, I should have worked with these guys a little bit more, making sure that they had their cadences down, they had the snap counts down, and we weren't going to have that issue this week. He doesn't own any of that. Oh, it's all about he's a robot out there, and they get tired of hearing that shit. You get tired of hearing that shit, and you're going to come in the meeting the same fucking time, same place Monday and tell me the same shit you've been telling me for the past couple of years. Tired of hearing that shit. You ain't that good, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Period. That's where they at right now.
After his record, he holds. There's no cachet in that building. After a while, right? You run through a brick wall for the guy. Cool. It's a new season, and plain as day, everybody's yelling at you. Dog, call the timeout. Protect the sideline. We're arguing. No.
Diddy juice.
Bro, jeez. Deuce one. Yo, shout out to Katrina. Shout out to all you guys in the grass. I'm heated here. B minor, I'm heated. I have no idea what it takes to get a coach fired in Chicago, but one thing I will say is the one thing, the one way that it might happen, we're about to walk into it. The one thing the McCaskies hate more than anything else is getting curb stomped by the Green Bay Packers. And I wish I could sit here and tell you that that's not going to happen.
Whoa, kids, don't go there, man. We got the extra sauce tomorrow, man, and we're gonna definitely tackle that goddamn issue. Let's stay with what just happened inside the building. And the truth is, you know, this, you know what, the McCaskies, and I'm going to include Ryan Poles in this conversation. Ryan Poles, if he has any say under the situation, they the duct tape kings. The Chicago Bears are the duct tape kings. When you need to come in with a surgeon and fix the plumbing job, you got your whole basement busted out with water because pipes is busting everywhere, and you down there with duct tape fixing the whole shit and trying to, and the next day, these motherfuckers ain't on the phone calling the most qualified plumber to fix this shit. They're gonna leave the duct tape down that motherfucker for the next couple of years and have to go down there, and whenever that shit busts again, and have to go down there with some more duct tape. So that's just what it feels like here, man. It just feels like these motherfuckers are just they're comfortable with the duct tape.
So is a leak in the basement?
There's busted ass pipes everywhere in the basement.
In the basement. So you're swimming in, like, the way the McCaskies handle this, you're swimming in the living room, bro. Maybe even upstairs, you might get a little bit of swimming done in the upper area too. Like full on backstrokes ass swimming.
that kind of mentality is very Chicago. Because you make the best with what you got in the situation.
Blue collar.
This team, this organization is not a blue collar franchise. They're worth $6 or however many $billion. They don't need to duct tape stuff like many Chicagoans and other people do or need to do to fix whatever the fuck it is they got to fix. They can afford to pay the top coaches if they just keep their fingers out of the pie. Just let them do the football shit. You go make your money.
Make money. This is what I've been trying to say. Like, I'm not against the McCaskies. I'm not against people making paper. You've got billions of dollars and you like football. Watch games. Go make the billions of dollars. Like, take the billions and make more billions. Be greedy. I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, I just want to watch decent, at least just semi-decent football on Sunday. And these people keep stealing it from me. I don't know why. I'm losing.
The most frustrating part is that this is supposed to be, the ascent of a rebuild.
Yeah.
And it's looking like this. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
But bro,
how many, years are we setting ourselves back right now as we watch?
But here's, like, the thing is, the rebuild. Remember when he came in, he was like, oh, we're going to, like, it's not a rebuild. I don't like the word rebuild. I'm going to, tool up some stuff here, fix up the kitchen a little bit. My guy fixed the windows. He fixed the walls. He fixed the roof. But he left the foundation completely destroyed. And that's a problem. That's where we are. We're sitting here. We got a full ass house. House looked great from the front, but there's no foundation. Once there's one rainfall, and we're washed out.
Hey kids, I want to tell you and Trip something, man. Once in my life, when I was managing a temporary staffing service, I was a manager of it, and I met some wealthy people. One of the wealthy people that I met was a well-to-do Asian guy. He invited me to his place, man, and this was his temporary place while he was, doing stuff, doing work stuff. He was only here for a certain amount of months out the year. I'm talking about this motherfucker probably was at least 500 millionaire, damn near a billion, or maybe more. I don't know. People hide their money very well, but I could tell this motherfucker had money. And this motherfucker was on his patio when I walked up there, smoking half cigarettes. Half cigarettes. He got all his goddamn money, and he's smoking cigarettes, and he's smoking a half a cigarette at a time while I'm sitting there meeting with him. And, you hear all the stereotypes about Asian people being, very frugal and all that kind of stuff. And it was weird hearing all that stuff growing up and watching this rich motherfucker sitting there smoking a half a cigarette at a time. And it's just, you know what? And there's people that live like that. You know what? I believe, and I'm taking this to a conversation with George McCaskey. And I believe so long that the income makes sense to them and it's worth doing what they do. I don't think nothing changes with these guys, man. People like that, nothing changes because they feel like whatever they're doing is working. It's keeping them. It's keeping them comfortable.
I guess money's coming in the door, so there is that.
Yeah. Which is why I said the other night, is people gonna have to put their fucking foot down. That's what's gonna have to happen. Period.
That's why I said the other night, nobody should go to this football game. Nobody should go. I'll say it again.
I mean, that's the most embarrassment. I mean, it's one thing to have the crowd out there booing, but to just have empty seats.
Empty seats and an ass whooping.
And Tom Brady, the GOAT himself, calling the game.
Hey, ain't nobody here. Ain't nobody here. I'm Tom Brady. I don't see anybody in Chicago. Where'd Chicago go? Straight up and down.
You know,
I know this ain't gonna happen, but I'm gonna say it out loud anyways. Everybody in the chat's been like, "That's crazy. The fan base is too big. People are gonna go. Don't go. Stay home. Keep your money in your pocket. Go to the damn tailgate. Live it up. Don't go in the building.
You know,
don't go in the building.
McCaskey's up there in the owner's box smoking, half squares. You know what I'm saying? Just being frugal. You know what I'm saying? We can't support that. I mean, it's like, how do you send a message otherwise other than hitting them in the pocketbooks?
Trips, you know what's funny about that? I had the whole conversation with him and ended up working with him with a subcontractor. He put an outsourcer on me. I didn't work with him directly, but I ended up getting some of his work and money. But I walked in there looking at this guy like, man, you weird motherfucker. You got all the money in the world and you smoking a half a cigarette. Smoke the shit out that cigarette. But the principalities of what he was doing, to me, I walked away from him with a whole bunch of respect, because no matter what kind of money you got, if you don't manage it, you won't have it for long. That kind of mindset I can relate to. But as a fan of this organization, sitting and watching a guy that's constantly got his hands in his pocket and working in the bargain basement and trying to find discounts all the time. When you in a city that is booming and teeming with there needs to be all kinds of change, uniform variations, and this motherfucker won't dig in his pocket to do it. What's wrong with the uniforms we got? They're fine. They're fine. What's wrong with having a 7-9 season? They're fine. What's wrong with every 3 years we got to get a new coach? We're fine, because the revenue keeps coming. That's the problem. The motherfucker is too comfortable.
Well, but now that brings up a whole nother conversation about fandoms and being a fan. Whereas you got part of the fan base saying, well, I'm not going to root for losers, until they change something, I'm not coming back. And then you got the hardcore fans saying, well, those are fair weather fans. You got to stick with your team through thick and thin, no matter what, rah, rah, rah. So there's that argument, that dichotomy of the fan base, that no matter how things will get, somebody will always be there cheering for their team. And quietly we'll all be watching on TV, criticizing our team until they get better. But I don't think that it will ever get to the point where you're going to have empty seats at Soldier Field, no matter how warranted they may be.
So I could see, I don't know if we're there yet, Trips, to your point. I don't know. I think you.
How could we not be there?
Right, but it can go left enough that swell of man, we need to back the fuck away from these motherfuckers. And don't stop being a fan, but don't just stop spending the money.
I'm not saying like it's the city of Chicago. It's y'all team. It's your team. You know what I mean? Like that's what that is. Chicagoans are going to love the Bears. There's only one football team there. What I'm saying is these people give zero. They don't care because it's their bank account. They know they can pull money out of this thing and survive. They really don't have to do anything with it or for it. Makes no difference. It'll generate a bunch of money next season. One time, y'all don't go to the game, and you're like, if it's a Packers game where you know Ginny's going to be there, she's going to be there this week. Guaranteed. Both Ginny and George, King George, Queen Ginny will be there. If nobody's in the stands, they will notice. It'll be an obvious thing.
I thought you was talking about some girl that you used to seeing up at the stadium when you.
I ain't trying to see no 100-year-old lady. Well, I'm not a vampire.
Like, man,
Hey, Jenny from the block.
I thought you were talking about some girl. I'd be like, fuck Jenny musty ass.
Jenny is not from the block, bro. Jenny's from.
Yeah, but now let's keep it real though, dog. You know, Jenny says, "Hey, I got this checkbook right here, and the amount is blank. The more you make me smile, the more zeros I put in. I bet you your ass will be having her cheesing."
Oh. I do some dumb shit, but hey, man. What did Ted DiBiase say? That's it. That is what it is, right? That's what it comes down to. Every man.
You're disgusted. You know you're disgusted because you know what you would do, and you know that it's like, yeah, this is my opportunity to get paid. So
every
I'm
man
gonna
has
pull strong and make the McCaskies so happy.
I remember. Hey, dog, I gotta tell you this quick story. I was in Atlanta. It made me think about it, man. I was talking about fuck Jenny musty ass. But I went to the Atlanta Hawks game. Somebody gave my girlfriend some tickets. I ended up going with some people, man. And I was hooting and hollering with a bunch of people, man. And I met a girl. Look at me. Let me tell you something. I met her, and we ate nachos and did all of the fan shit that people do. Caught a t-shirt somebody shot out of one of those little cannons in there. And we was talking afterwards. We ended up in a place together at a bar. She was just like, and she was cute as shit. And she was just like, you know what? I know you own me, but you gotta tell me the truth. You know I'm musty. That's where I got that from. You know I was musty in there. She got the hooting and hollering and sweating and having a good time when she starts sweating on the underarms and she starts stinking. But she was so fucking cute. You ignored it. And she was just like, come on, you got to be honest. You know I'm musty. I know you think I'm cute, but you ain't going to admit I'm at least musty.
Bitch, you lit up. Shit.
See, I'm just honest like that. I would have said exactly that. I'm sorry.
But you're still sexy. We can take a shower.
You're cute as all sin. You can take a shower and take you over to the pharmacy. We go to Walmart. You know what I mean? They got things. They got.
I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to admit it, kids. I was just like, I want to tell you, but she's like, just say it. I know I'm musty.
Bro,
right, but I gotta appreciate the fact that she recognizes the fact that she's musty and cares.
That is the oddest part of this story, because I've been in a similar situation where it's just like, oh God, my eyes are burning. I have to leave. You know what I mean? You kind of figure your way out of the situation. But you know, hey, teach his own.
You know,
every man has his price.
Hey, you know what? It's the worst thing in the world. I'm telling you, Deuce. I'm telling you, man. You meet a fine ass chick. Everything about the chick is dead ass on point with what you like, and then she starts getting musty right there on you. And come to find out, she's one of them people. I don't know if you ever met a person that has a glandular problem, and they need a certain kind of deodorant that doesn't have iron or whatever, and then mercury.
You got to go to like a special. You got to get
prescription
deodorant for this, bro. You went too far, bro.
You know, that's like when you meet the chick and they're like, she's perfect, but get that chronic halitosis.
Oh,
man, I've had that too. That was not a good scene.
You know, whatever body odor that protrudes, you know, that is malodorous.
Dragon breath, you know who you are.
You know, whatever is malodorous to your nose buds may be, it's like you look past that for the first few times until you know you fulfill your oats and sowing those wild ones. And then after you've done that a few times, then it becomes annoying, and it's like, yeah, I got to cut you off because you stink.
Hey man, you can't be So, like, all right, there's a certain level of musty I'm not dealing with. If it's some underarms, I can handle that. I can get you in.
I like how you got levels to that, though.
Yeah, if I unbutton
I'm
some jeans,
thinking Yoshi.
if I unbutton some jeans, some fumes come out that motherfucker. I ain't fucking with you.
You say like if your crotch is smelling like low tide, that's what I know.
Okay, I can do that. That's all right. All right.
You see, this is what we've devolved into because this is what we've devolved into.
Yeah,
so let me
well pointed out, sir. So this is how bad our football team is that we've resorted to talking about musty armpits on our female friends. That being the case, all hands on deck for this coming Sunday. Thank you, Triple R. Sustenance, home cooked food.
Give me full screen, baby. Give me full screen.
Full screen, man. There you go.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you these earlier. A little green onion.
Ooh. It look like that turned into some roux.
Yeah, it's thickened up nice with the potatoes, huh? That's like the that's the deal.
Because I did put a little bit of flour in there earlier with the celery and onions, and then like as the potatoes soften, they can just mush on the side. And the broccoli's all in there and the carrots, so there's nothing that can overcook. And once it all becomes mush, it's like just more and more hearty.
See,
I gotta put a little Tabasco on top of that bowl.
Sure, I would have. Wow, you know what I mean? I'm a spicy guy. I probably would have put a Scotch bonnet pepper right up in there to start the whole situation.
Hold on, let him explain what we looking at here.
What do you got here? You got the Goya.
You see, you got the little of the salsa picante, so it's got a little spice to it, but not hot.
That's my stuff
the
right
Goya,
there.
What was that, dude?
Which one?
The Valentina. That's my shit right there.
I ain't even had that before.
That's a picante.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And then, also as toppings, I showed you earlier that we'll put a little cheese when we make our little bowl. We'll shred some of that in there nicely, and then you got to
see how it's just
a little sour cream.
See how it's just melting in there.
Mm-hmm.
I seen a piece of cheese just sink down to.
You
the
actually
bottom.
put the sour cream in the soup, or do you like put it on top of the toppings?
Well, you can do either or, depending on what you want to do.
All right.
I mean, like if it's just you eating this, I'll probably end up putting it all in here.
Mm-hmm.
Then you throw that little bacon in there, because don't forget about the crispy ass bacon.
And
so you get a little cheese, you get a little bacon, you get a little sour cream, and it's a nice hearty, fall November kind of meal. And it is a meal because there are vegetables in there. Right. There's 6 slices of bacon.
Plate one up, Trip. Get a bowl, put that shit all the way together. Put the bacon on there, the sour cream, just piss everybody off with the green onions and everything.
All right. So I'll move that back here a little bit. All right, so while I'm plating, y'all go ahead and talk. I can hear you.
I got you, but I'm a soup guy. I just found out, I don't know, a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, Kez was a soup guy. Like I'm like a soup, chilies, anything in a bowl that you got to cook for a long period of time. I know Kez has got that background. He's got that West Indian background, and I know they big on that shit.
Bro, stew beef, stew chicken, curry chicken, all this kind of stuff in a pot. But we also make like a chicken soup for us is a serious thing, man. One of these days, somehow,
chicken soup.
Chicken noodles, like chicken and noodles is the thing here.
What you talking?
It's like it's chicken noodle soup, but it's like it's way better than what you would expect it to be. That's sort of how the first thing I would say. Definite pepper, definite spice up in there. When you eat if you eat my chicken soup, you're like, ooh, okay, my sinuses are good now. You know what I mean? If you had a problem, you're straight. But
look at this shit Trips got going on. Ooh, wee.
Got all the fixings rolling.
Look at them green onions and that sour cream, that bacon up in that bitch with the
Fart man, you made.
Good Lord, that look good.
Fart man, your timing is impeccable, bro. He came out of nowhere with this one.
Go on, mix that shit on up, man. Ooh.
Fart man last week was like, the Bears offense give me gas. And I was like, with a name like Fart man, I'm pretty sure the gas was in play before the Bears offense got as bad as it was. But
which hot sauce did you put in there, or did you even put some in there?
Didn't put any in there yet.
That shit righteous.
It tastes like a loaded baked potato.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Right. That's what it looked like. See, Trip. Now, god damn, he pissed me off now. I'm gonna fuck around, be making some soup till like 2-3 in the morning. Why?
And it's so easy because once it's labor intensive because you have to cut the vegetables. But once you get them all in the pot, you know your work is done. Just stir it every now and then.
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh,
man.
You got the crunch of the green onion and the bacon. Then you got the cheesiness. Then the potatoes are just naturally mushy. What's left of the potatoes that are not turned just mushed by themselves are, nice little body to them, enough to, have to address. You see how that's not mushy,
right? But
it's still soft.
Everything I want is in that bowl, man.
And then the broccoli, the florets are all dispersed, but the stems are nice and tender. The carrots just basically melt in your mouth. It's so warm.
There's celery in there too?
Oh man, is celery in there?
The celery went in with the onions at the very first stage.
See, I love celery in soup because it reduces the salt content you have to put in it. It just has a natural salt that it's funny when I do my curry chicken, I put celery down and wait until after the whole meal is cooked to add any salt to the meal at all, and it turns out really nice, man. One of these days we'll go on some curry chicken.
I just want to know how many No Maniacs in the chat that are soup people. Are you down with the soup or are you not? Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. But I had this girlfriend that she told me, she was like, "Oh, you like soup?" She's like, "Oh, I can't stand soup." I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna end up quitting your ass." And she thought I was bullshitting. I quit her.
Oh, okay. Really about that soup, huh? You're not messing around.
Like, hey man, dude, if I got a girlfriend that can't fry chicken, can't make soup, don't know how to make macaroni and cheese, can't appreciate some good dressing, all that kind of stuff that we like, man, dog, can't fry fish, get the fuck out of here. What I'm gonna do with you?
Yeah. Well, I could answer that question, but that gets boring after a while. Man gotta eat, right? Man gotta eat. I'm right there with you, bro. My wife of the long, she's not a soup person at all. She hates stews, but what the saving grace is, bro, my girl makes the baddest sandwiches. I don't know what she's doing down there. Them sandwiches are crazy. So big ups, shout outs to the wife. Shout outs to you, damn it. That's all you get.
All I got is one thumbs up. All I got is one thumbs up for people that like soup. What the fuck are y'all, aliens?
I'm telling you, a lot of people ain't with the soup, man. I'm with it. I'm about that soup. Straight up.
Dude, what Trips got going on, I can do in my house every day of the week if I can get away with it. Only problem is if I make it in this house with just me and my girl around here, I got to eat all that shit, and I don't know how to make small portions of shit. I got to make a pot.
Don't you make your pot and you stretch that thing out, man. It's y'all don't know about them things, do you?
What?
Y'all, cornmeal porridge.
What?
Yeah, y'all don't know about that. You know about that, Triple R? Yeah. Okay. It's like it's a straight up Caribbean.
Like oatmeal, but with cornmeal.
But with cornmeal.
Wait a minute. Say that one more time.
Cornmeal porridge.
With what's in it?
Cornmeal instead of oatmeal.
Oh, dog. No, you lost me, dog. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, it's a Caribbean delicacy. It's not delicacy is a wrong word, but it's Caribbean comfort food, man. Good stuff.
Well, I mean, it's like having pancakes. When you have cornmeal, half flour, it just gives it that grit. And those are hoe cakes or Johnny cakes, Johnny pancakes. Yeah, Johnny cakes. And those are pancakes with cornmeal. And then you make hush puppies with cornmeal and just onion and fry them up. So I mean, just that grit of the cornmeal just makes it a little different. Just changes the profile.
The flavor is nice. Like the closest thing I could compare it to for you guys out there would be like Captain Crunch. Flavor profile is pretty close to Captain Crunch. You're gonna put some vanilla in there.
That's too sweet.
Well, you can reduce the sweetness because it's up to you. Like the sweetness isn't coming from the cornmeal. The sweetness is coming from whatever you're going to add to it. So either you're going to add sugar or brown, white, whatever sugar you want, cinnamon, nutmeg, condensed milk. Like these are the different things you can sort of put into it to give it sweetness. On keto, I was eating it. It's not really keto friendly, but I would reduce the sugar content and just use like a little bit of honey instead or maple syrup. Boom. Awesome little thing to have in breakfast.
Well, let me tell you this, Canada. I'm gonna make some dough, like a nice little pastry dough. Put dice up some apples.
Ooh,
but I'm gonna honey roast some walnuts, and then make a nice apple walnut Danish roll up with some maple butter syrup glaze topping.
Oh, that's so that you'd be surprised. Like right here where I'm at is like the home of the Macintosh apple. Right, that's where the Macintosh apple comes from. It comes right from my neck of the woods. I'm in.
Hold on, kid. You one of them sugar spaghetti motherfuckers?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you're asking. Yep.
Nah.
Yep.
You do really like sweet shit for real, man.
I don't, but the spaghetti's a different thing. It's sort of like I don't know how to explain it, but it brings out the acidity of the tomato. Right. You don't put you're not downside a bag of sugar in your tomato sauce, right? But you put a little bit of sugar in there, and it becomes a little bit more acidic. You get more of that raw tomato flavor.
The sugar isn't always to make it sweet. There are some raviolis and some sauces that are sweeter, but the regular sugar in a regular pasta sauce just balances out the acidity in the tomatoes, like Heads was saying. So it's like salt in onions or celery when you're sauteing them. It doesn't really make them salty, but it brings out the natural flavor more.
Yeah. So anybody ever you ever seen a Jollibee in the Chicago area?
Yeah.
I ain't seen it. But
there's one right across the street from what is the name of that mall? Lincoln Town Mall on McCormick and whatever the fuck that is. It's not technically Chicago, but it's right there.
On Lincoln Highway?
Over by Lincoln Highway, yeah. Lincolnwood Mall.
Okay. Because I ain't seen the Jollibee. They say that spaghetti in there. They fry chicken up in there, and it's supposed to be comparable to Popeyes and all that.
It's nicely fried chicken, in the press that they do, but the flavor just ain't there. You know, they don't have the seasonings or none of that shit. It's just nicely fried chicken with no flavor.
I ain't
So
seen it.
one thing to note, I haven't made spaghetti in probably 15 years. Like I'm just
Hey,
so
man, you
like,
just- nah,
Deuce would
hell
know.
no. Deuce
Deuce
just burnt your ass.
I'm just saying Deuce would know because like this is when I'm like dead poor, living in an apartment and shit, and we can only make a couple of different things. It was like tuna or spaghetti night because we can afford noodles and a can of sauce. There's likely no meatballs. You know what I mean? Like you're fucked. But that's that. You know, Deuce come over. You have some toast, some noodles, and some red sauce. Yeah, there's a little bit of sugar in the red sauce. He's aware.
Hey, it's Crimson. They still got a Browns out by Midway. Just go to Midway. Go out by Midway. Just south of Midway is Browns. If you're looking for one, unless they close that motherfucker up, and I don't know about it. But yeah, it's still a Browns out south, just south of Midway, right outside the airport, man. You can, if you want some Browns, you can get you some. I love Browns chicken and gizzards, man, for real. If you don't know about that, then you ain't no true Chicago.
Yeah, Browns is all about the mushrooms.
That too. The Browns mushrooms are crazy too.
Yeah, Browns chicken. Da-da. It tastes better.
I got to get some of Browns. I got to test that out, and you guys got to get some Mary Browns. You will be impressed.
Thank you, in the grass, man. We appreciate you. Go ahead, kids. I'm sorry.
I'm just wondering if the two companies are somehow connected to each other, U.S. and Canada, but I feel like they ain't. But we'll find out one of these days. You get them taters? Like, let me ask. Do they make like potato wedges, taters?
No, I don't know if that's on the menu.
Yeah, Browns they do potato wedges, not French
They got
fries.
wedges on there?
Yeah, they do potato wedges. I'm pretty sure, not French fries.
Do they make it up like they do they battered chicken? Or they just got some random ass wedges in there?
It's a nice little crust on them, but it's not like the chicken crust or shell.
I can imagine them doing this.
But I think they do have like it's something that
So that's what Browns. What you just described. What you just described is what Mary Brown's is in Canada. So it's basically your taters done in the same batter as the chicken, and it's nice, man. It's pretty nice chicken. I would say again, second to Popeyes out here.
So Crimson is out there in the Seattle area, and when he come out here, he's just looking to find out where that damn Browns at. Go south of the Midway. That's where you're gonna find heaven at, bro. And tell them you'll wait to get something fresh, man. Just don't go in there and order. Of course, it's different times when they got hot stuff up there. Just tell them I'll wait for a fresh order and just sit there and wait. And you get a fresh order, man. That's heaven, dude. Like if you never had Brown's chicken gizzards and some of the stuff they had in there, dog, you just don't know what you missing. That's special, man.
My guy MC Fact had to lay it down and shut us all up. He says all that fried food is not good for you. Thanks for spitting facts, MC Fact. No lies.
You know, I've been like disenfranchised with the whole chain restaurant thing. I was in New Orleans with the fam for the World's Fair back in the day, like the late 80s or so, mid 80s. And I had Popeye's chicken in New Orleans. And it was the best tasting stuff I've ever had. And then we came back to Chicago and went to one of the franchise restaurants. And it was like just a shell of the flavor that was happening down there. And it's like, you know, once they go corporate, you know, they just lose a lot of the original taste. You know, like you look at places like Portillo's that are expanding out. And it's like, you know, they jack up the prices, but the taste goes down because it's now more corporate, more, you know, readily just servicing. So it's like it's sad going to different chains because you expect, you know, them to taste the same, like a McDonald's or Burger King. That's how they stay in business because they always taste the same, even though now it's mostly chemicals and a lot smaller and, you know, a lot of imitation ingredients. But that's a different conversation. But yeah, it's like Browns, Churches, Popeyes, KFC. But you know, those are all different. But you still can't fuck with the White Castles or the Crystals
Now, you went all the way down to New Orleans and was eating that chicken. Now that chicken Trip is not fucking lying. When you go down to New Orleans and go to a Popeyes, it's gonna hit different. I don't ask me exactly why, but that shit's different down there. He's fucking right, man. But when next time you go down that motherfucker and don't go to Dookie Chase's, did you hear that right? Go to Dookie Chase's and get you some fried chicken.
I'm not sure if I can go to eat at a place named Chase's.
Anybody that's been through the New Orleans area know what the fuck I'm talking about.
That's a terrible name for a spot. I'm just saying. Sound like you're running to take a shit. Is it just me?
Well, I mean, Dookie Chase's. That means it's like, man, that sounds good. Because it's like you ate some good shit, and it's like I'm
just saying that for a restaurant. If that was like,
because I mean, Dookies are nice. Dookie's not like you got to take a shit or you got to take a dump. A Dookie's like very nice, very comforting, and it's like that feels good. And it's like, you can look forward to a nice, comforting release after the meal. That sounds very appealing.
But you shouldn't. This is what I'm saying. Is like you shouldn't be advertising the food by way of the shit that happens after.
That's how good
sweet boo-boos.
You can
happy boo-boos.
You can put Dookie Chase on your goddamn marquee, and the food that good, motherfuckers gonna come back and back and back.
I mean, because we all know what happens after you eat at Waffle House, and people still keep going there.
I'm telling y'all, Google Dookie Chase. I'm telling y'all.
That's
until you stop the Dookie Chase, man.
That's too much. All right, next time I'm in New Orleans, Dookie Chase it is, man.
Google Dookie Chase. Y'all see what I'm talking about. Watch a video or something. See how they fry that chicken. I'm telling you. Yeah, it sounds funny right now. It was hilarious when I heard about it. My homeboy D was from there, and it's a horrible story. I could tell y'all some other day. But I went down there. He said, "I'm finna take you to Dookie Chase." I was like, "What?" I was like, "In where? What you say you gonna take me to?" He said, "Dookie Chase."
What was that, strip club? That's
what first thing I thought. That's the first thing fucking went through my head. Trip was fucking. He gonna take me to a strip joint, and it's a goddamn restaurant.
See, those are the two places I don't want to be named Dookie Chase. I don't want to be. I don't want my strip club to have anything to do with Dookie. I'm pretty sure my food. Anyways, I'm sure.
Think about what he's saying. Think about the owner. He named this restaurant Dookie Chase. What is he trying to say?
He's trying to say my food's so good that when you shit, you will come back and eat more of it. And I've been to a couple of buffets like that.
No. He was a butt lover, is what he was.
Oh, so he's chasing booty. So he should have called it Booty Chase, which is still also not a good name for a restaurant. But I would at least, I don't know.
Well, Dookie's Dookie. I mean, that's not very ambiguous.
No.
We don't know what Dookie is.
He's straight up chasing poop.
You know, the boo-boo. The poo-poo. You know, the cat, if you will.
Crimson, by the way, you go to Atlanta, the strip clubs got the best wings in the city. That's some of the best food in Atlanta is in the strip club, by the way. So you know.
Jack, you got to change your name, man. I'd love to talk about the stuff you post, but you know what I mean? I'm like, hey, Jack,
it's what is that? Bojangles? Yeah, I like Bojangles because it's kind of like Checkers with the fries, the seasoned fries that they got.
Okay.
You
know, as far as fast food places.
I've had Checkers. Checkers
is okay. Whack, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ate a couple times down there when I was in Atlanta. It's all right.
It's okay.
I just can't eat it because the name just sounds kind of, Mr. Bojangles. And it's like, I don't know if I can support that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that's his family doing it. So
right. That's exactly it, man. You don't want to. They did have now. Hey, why you bullshit now? They had a blackened catfish sandwich down in Bojangles. That shit was better than everything that I ate on the menu.
So wait a minute, Crimson. Crimson, did you find? So you've had the Wendy's chicken sandwich, the Asiago chicken ranch, to be precise. Is Chick-fil-A better than the Asiago chicken sandwich at Wendy's? Because I've had both.
Chick-fil-A is so overrated, man.
It's super over. This is really what I'm trying to say. Chick-fil-A super overrated, yo. I went to Toronto. They fresh just got a Chick-fil-A. They just opened one up in my town. I went to T-Dot. On my way to Toronto, there's like 6 Wendy's on the highway. So I finally stop at a Wendy's, have an Asiago chicken sandwich. Good sandwich, decent chicken sandwich. I go have a Chick-fil-A sandwich the next day, not really knowing. We just happened to be in the area, and I was like, oh, never had Chick-fil-A before. Let me get a chicken sandwich. Wendy's is way better. And I'm just putting it out there.
Hey,
oh,
man,
this was with me.
Chick-fil-A ain't nothing but big ass flavorless nugget. That they made it to a burger.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A is got a lot of money and advertising in the right place and got people thinking Chick-fil-A is all that. You had Chick-fil-A, man, you might as well grab you some shit, a Tyson chicken sandwich. I mean, chicken patty, and hook that shit up in your
because Chick-fil-A is basically that gas station, cooler chicken sandwich that you can put in a little microwave.
Yeah, it's some bullshit.
Yeah, man.
They got their novelty because they got them funny ass looking waffle fries and all that.
Those fries suck. I'm sorry. I was not impressed by the fries. I was not impressed by the chicken sandwich. I was trying to figure out what's the big deal. It's just okay.
But now if we want to keep it real, let's give some props to Whataburger and their breakfast chicken biscuit sandwich. Oh my God. You get you a little honey and put on top of that bad boy, and that's some good eating right there.
All right, you got to give me a full description here. I don't have this out here.
I'm telling you, I got something to top all that trip.
Well, hold on. Before you do that, it's a nice tender piece of chicken breast, not fried, and then it's inside, the Southern biscuit that they make. Okay. And so it's a chicken biscuit sandwich. And then, your toppings are your toppings, but it's very good with honey, honey and biscuits and honey on the chicken. And it's a breakfast thing. So it's, small. It's not like a burger size. And it's like, you have some of those and some hash browns. And it's like, you good to go for the day. And that's why, Southern people are so fat asses. Because, they eat all that grease and all that stuff. All right, go ahead, Nomad. Go ahead.
Nah, dudes, it's Whataburger. It's like, what a burger?
No, Wahlburger. That's a different spot.
Okay.
No, Wahlburger is like Marky Mark and the Wahlberg. That's his family's thing. What a burger is a different thing, mostly southeastern, I think.
Ethereal Sanders came to the rescue. So this conversation is about to give me heart disease.
Well, I mean, yes, I saw somebody earlier was like, y'all still eat McDonald's. It's like, nah, shit, I make McDonald's at home.
It's so true, man. By the way, McDonald's is different in flavor between our two countries.
Hey, you cannot eat all these things and Ethereal, bam, dude, straight up. You was on point. I can eat whatever I want to. Why? Because I work out and I sweat out the toxins every day, all the time. So you can eat whatever you want to, filter it out. I'm not saying be ridiculous, but we talking about sandwiches, man. Let me tell you something.
I don't think B Minor's talking about sandwiches.
Hey, listen, man. Listen. You go to Five Guys and get that grilled cheese double cheeseburger. Woo!
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
I wanted to slap that dude, man. That shit was too good. Actually, I still love a Rally's double. I still love Rally's a double with some of them fries, some hot fries. Like, oh man.
See, I found a spot here that I don't think you'll find in the States, but I don't know, man. This burger was second to none right now. It's my go-to burger right now. It's from a place called Burger Priest. Dope burgers, yo. They make like a smash burger. It's very similar to what you would find at a Five Guys, but the smash burger thing is like they put the cheese on it and then they smash it into the grill and give it like an extra crisp on one side, not the cheese side, but the other side. So when you're eating this burger, the top is soft, but you get like a little extra crunch that you're not really expecting, and it's so good. Awesome burger. But the thing about Five Guys and Burger Priest, them French fries are second to none, man. Five Guys French fries.
Yeah, I cannot stand those things because they're
You don't
like half done and full of grease.
See, you got to do them right. That's it.
I like my fries like thinner and more crispier. But all of the stuff that we're talking about, if you look on Google, they have all the recipes to all this shit. So I realized I do it at home.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's one way to skin the cat.
Because there's so many different ways of making just a burger. You can have a nice thick one with a nice pink center, or you can smash them down a little bit and have it crusty. You can do a combination of both. You can put the onions on early and let them grill. You can keep raw onions. You throw your pickles on or your different cheeses, maybe your mushrooms and Swiss, maybe your cheddar and whatever the fuck, and bacon. Or, maybe you fry up over easy an egg and put that on top of there. And then, like Nomad was saying, you make grilled cheese, and then you make that the buns for your cheeseburger. I mean, there are just so many different ways to enjoy a burger. It's just ridiculous.
Hey, dude. Hey, Trish, I ain't gonna lie to you. The absolute best burger I ever had, I was fucking around rolling with my uncle. That motherfucker, I ain't gonna lie to you. He was high as Rick James. Man, that motherfucker was high. And he had me with him. He was just like trying to show me off, because I guess he thought I was like the cool little kid. And he took me to a Hardee's. And I was standing there in the line with him. He high. He got this girl with him. He was like, hey, nephew, what you want, man? And I was just like, I don't know, man. So much on. He's like, man, just get something. She's like, his girlfriend, it was like, man, he ain't gonna order. I order for him, and she ordered me a Frisco burger at Hardee's. So that's a sourdough. Of course, Hardee's grills that burger, so you get that flame broiled taste. That was sourdough with some whatever that white. I don't know if it's white American or some kind of white cheddar, whatever it is on that thing, with some bacon and a little mayo. And some tomato, lettuce. Man, to this day, that's the best burger I ever had in my life.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff.
A Frisco burger. I don't even know if they still sell it because I ain't seen it.
Yeah, that's like one of their signature burgers. Like Big Mac has a quarter pounder and a Big Mac. Hardee's has like Carl's Jr. and the Frisco burger.
Man, I'm gonna find me a Hardee's because if that shit tastes anything like it did when my uncle took me to that motherfucker, I'm gonna buy that motherfucker often. I'm gonna work my ass off just to be able to eat it, work out and eat it on maybe on my cheat day. But good Lord.
Well, but that's the thing though. You can make that exact thing at home. You get the ingredients, you make it a little bit healthier than it is in a restaurant, because the restaurant's always going to let you down because of the chemicals, because the GMOs and their sourcing of their foods, and it's just not healthy anymore. That's why you need a cheat day, as opposed to just getting you some beef, getting you some cheese, getting you some bread, or making some whole wheat bread. You make that shit at home. It won't be the exact same taste or flavor profile, but it'll be close enough to where it's like, yeah, this is good. It's healthier, and like you see how much like meals at these places cost, like Five Guys, for them raw ass pieces of potatoes that they pass off as French fries, like $10.
You got you got a bad batch, Trips. Try it again.
No, that's the way they make their fries. They don't crisp them up. They have them hot. As long as they're hot, they're good. But as soon as they get cold, it's just grease.
Just tell them fried hard, Trips. That's all.
Yeah, tell them well done French fries. Change your life.
I know how to do that, but it's just not the same because I just think they're overpriced for what they are. Because remember, I grew up in Chicago. There was Milwaukee Avenue, and then another one on like North Avenue. What's the name of these fucking places? But there were just these little shops. Everything costs $1. You want a gyro? $1. You want a cheeseburger? $1. You want a pizza puff? $1. You want some fries? $1. And it was all good comfort, just food. It was nothing healthy about it, but it was just fried up nicely, and it was cheap, and it was accessible because ain't nobody got time to be cooking and shit. But now I'm old. It's like, yeah, I got no money or no health for these fast food places. So the script has been flipped, and I make that shit at home.
Hey man, you know what? Nothing wrong with it, man. Nothing wrong with it. Everybody has a taste for a certain something. And shout out to Is Crimson today. He said, "No man, my brother. If you ever out here covering the Seahawks game versus the Bears game, please let me feed you. Hardee's is so bad. You, you know what, man? Crimson, I get it, man. I know people have had better burgers. Technically, I've had better burgers. I think the Five Guys burgers was elite, but there's something about the taste of that burger at Hardee's, that Frisco, something about it. It's just like everybody has a taste. Kids and trips, y'all can like people don't realize like the Burger King original chicken sandwich, the oblong one, that shit right there is underrated.
Yeah, when it had the lettuce and the mayo.
Yes. Throw a
Yeah.
little piece of cheese on that thing, whatever. You know, you can just get it like that. But just some people have certain tastes for stuff. Like I still like the fucking what was it? The McDouble for whatever reason.
Oh, you keep the hot side hot and the cold side cold.
Man, something about it.
No, that was the McDOT.
No. The McDouble, the McDLT is way for me.
So there's one spot I have to talk about since we're talking about burgers for some reason. Oh yeah, our team sucks. So the one spot I have to talk about is BurgerFi. I threw it in the chat. It is in the Florida area. Why I'm bringing it up is this is my guy's franchise friend of mine. His name is Phil Scavo. Phil Scavo is a massive Bears fan. So by all means, if you're in the Florida area, I know some of the No Maniacs and Super No Maniacs are out in that neck of the woods. Give Phil Scavo a little bit of love, give him a little bit of support, and tell him bear down when you're at BearFi. See, Deuce knows Phil Scavo too. We played soccer with Phil, but Phil's a Bears fan.
Look at Deuce, man. People don't know. Like weirdly, some people like Wendy's chili.
Oh yeah, that's delicious. And just I heard
I love that shit.
from a little bird that Chef Trips is going to be hooking that up. So keep watch for that, dude.
Hey, I love White Castles. Like you can drag a White Castle down the road on the back of your truck for 15 miles. I'll pick that bitch up and eat it. I love White Castle. I love it. But some people just like, why you like that shit? It's just taste buds, man. It's just taste, man. Yeah, yes, that original chicken sandwich. The oblong one, not the round one, the oblong one. The original chicken sandwich. That OG is the shit.
I mean, because I'm old enough to remember when the McRib came out. It was actually a steak sandwich with the onion.
And the OG one, the original one.
Yeah, and then had the it wasn't a little sesame seeds on the bun. They weren't sesame seeds, though. There were some other kind of seeds, caraway seeds or somebody. But it was a big, huge thing.
My girlfriend don't like me to this day because every time the McRib come out, I gotta make her go get me a McRib and some fries. She's like, I don't understand it. This cheap ass piece of mystery meat, they throw some barbecue sauce, cut up some onions, and put some pickles on it. And she gets mad at me, but she'll go get it. She'll go get it for me. I just thought about that McRib. I love the taste of that sandwich with some hot ass fries.
I try to avoid any association with McDonald's as humanly possible. That's just me.
I don't fuck with it too much.
That's just me. McRib don't do it for me. Like, it's funny Tripp brought up the original McRib because straight up and down, the original McRib was really good. It was a dope sandwich. And I think it lasted for a couple of months. It was like a special thing. They brought it back the next year, and it was a completely different sandwich. There was no rib. It was just a slab of stuff. And it was smothered in barbecue sauce, and it was okay. But,
kids, you know what it is? I think it's the sweet and sour mix. You got a sweet ass barbecue sauce, and you got those tangy ass pickles, bitter onions, and I think something about the mixture of that with the fries and a Coke. Dog, I'm telling you, man, it's a bullshit ass sandwich if you ever want to put your teeth into one. I mean, it's such bullshit, dude.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. You know, but anyways, let's call it a day because it's gonna be a long week, man. You know what I'm saying?
And plus, we got tomorrow. We got some extra sauce. and we're gonna get all the way fully into the Packers game, and hopefully nobody commits something side on the show because everybody's worried about that. No, we don't want nobody to die on the show, but everybody's worried about that. The whole city is worried about the Packers game. It's to just say ain't nothing good about it, but we'll pass it on to kids because I see him puckered up. He's got something to say about that. Pass it on to you for some pleasantries.
Boycott the Packers game. Make the McCaskies feel it in their pocket. At the very least, if they don't feel it in the pocket, I mean, considering I'm sure the tickets are already purchased, at the very least, let them sit in the building alone and watch the team get destroyed, because that's kind of what's going to go down, or at least that's my 2 cents on it. We'll get a heck of a lot deeper into that in Extra Sauce there tomorrow. Considering Extra Sauce, we've covered the football team, the firing of the not firing of the head coach, the firing of the offensive coordinator, and all sorts of food, good old soups and burgers and French fries. Anything to not talk about this team anymore because they're just ruining life. That being said, let's give you guys some love for giving us some love. Shout out to Mr. Mayhem, Deuce One, my guy, Mick Fact, and it's Crimson for holding it down out there for sure. Minister Charles Johnson, Marlon Johnson. Who else we got out there? In the Grass was with us for sure. Daryl Gibson was with us for sure. FFG style. Jack, you know who you are, Jack. AC Adam, Don Burr, No Love, Big Love, you know what it is. Who else we got out there? Man, like the chat was popping and going pretty crazy all day. Katrina, shout out to you. Eric Stewart, shout out to you. Rex Smith, what it do? B Minor. Looks like I've run out of room here. There's a lot more folks, and I guess maybe it's from the previous show too. Who else? I'm missing. Lewis Joyce, what's popping, Lewis? Thanks for coming through. We'll have to dig into that conversation a little bit deeper, Lewis. B Minor, shout out to you.
Marlon wants to know what we're eating for Thanksgiving.
Well, my Thanksgiving was a couple of weeks ago. We had the good chicken. Canadian Thanksgiving. I don't know why it's different than U.S. Thanksgiving. Mr. Mayhem, shout out to you, brother. Who else we got? I think that kind of rounds it out. But shout out to my guy Triple R for showing up with us and hanging out, getting all this off his chest. Shout out to Damon Dice. I think that just about does it for the day. But shout out to all you guys, you super no maniacs and no maniacs. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for hanging out with us in this therapy session after, again, another the loss of another offensive coordinator. We should have played the Army funeral song, but
he's not dead.
His team might be though.
Right, but it's shout out to all of the maniacs. It's always good to chop it up with you, about this organization, this franchise, and about just city stuff and food and all the good shit that you just hang out with your people and just talk good shit about. Thanks everybody who is helping support and build the channel over there at Sports Chicago Style, as try to build something that revolves around sports talk, but other aspects of life, as there are other aspects of life that we can all have to partake in, such as food and exercise, and unfortunately, like self-defense and all that good shit in the day and age that we live in. So all the social media platforms, that's the channel on the YouTube, Sports Chicago Style.
Shout out to Trips. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to kids. Shout out to these are my boys, man. I love these dudes, man. Straight up, we do great stuff together when we do podcasts. It's just fun. It's just absolute fun when we do it, and you can feel it in the chat. Everybody's vibing with us. That pot of soup got me hungry as fuck. Trips, hey man, that kind of stuff right there. When you do that kind of stuff, dog, y'all better go fuck with Trips over on Sports Chicago Style. Just that's all I'm gonna say right there, because when people make stuff like that, that's when I see somebody make a pot of soup like that, I know they was raised right.
But peep game now. But like just to be able to like sit here and like be right here, right? But then like be like boom, like there it is right there. There it is right there. Let's go to the live action shot, on remote location. You know what I'm saying? See, that's how it's going down. That's how we got to do things. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta do that more often, man, because damn,
Boom.
That's the righteous shit right there. But hey, Trips did actually started a Discord channel, but things hit disarray and we didn't keep up with it. Trips actually did start a Discord channel when we first started. So taking my hat off Trips for actually doing that. Should we re-up it? Yeah, we probably should, man. We should probably get another Discord channel. We probably should put a Patreon together and do some kind of conjunction with him and us over here. So make sure everything that we do gets equal flowering. I think, you know what I mean? And I think that's the best thing to do because Trips is always solid when it comes to us over here and make sure he brings it every time he comes over here. And why shouldn't we feed each other? Matter of fact, I think that's what we're going to need to do is take care of each other in that way. So look out for that, man. We'll put some thought into that. Thank you for that one. It's Crimson. But man, hey, thank you guys for being here. It was a fun show. And tomorrow we're going to do some extra sauce and we're going to cover the Green Bay Packers Bears matchup and what we expect to happen. Is it going to turn into some kind of pity me fest? I think partially. Most fans believe that we have no chance at all to win this game. I'm going to bring a little bit of positivity to that tomorrow. I'm going to do Nomad things tomorrow. And I'm going to find out a way. I'm going to look at the film and I'm going to look and see if there's a way that we can win this game. Really, and I think it's going to come down to kids, Trips. It's going to come down to attitude. Who can bring the most attitude in Chicago? Who can execute better? And is this coaching change on the offensive side of the ball enough to inject them with what they need? This is a really good roster, you know what I mean? Offensively and defensively. Can we make it all fit together? Can we get the quarterback to play like a quarterback should be playing at this point in the season, rookie or non-rookie? He's past rookie phase right now. He's got to step it up. And in order for this coach, I don't think has any kind of chance. He could, you know what? I ask you guys this before I close the show. If we wax the Green Bay Packers with a healthy roster, 35-7, does Flus have a chance to keep his job? I'm just gonna ask y'all that generally before we get out of here.
I don't want to answer this question because that might mean Matt Eberflus keeps his job.
That's what I just said.
I heard what you said. I'm saying that maybe if he douses the Packers, maybe he keeps his job. I don't want that to be a potential option here.
That's like the Bears' biggest boogeyman for a decade plus, beating the Packers. Even in their playoff runs, they struggle to beat the Packers. If they beat the Packers convincingly, then all bets are off, straight up. Yeah. Maybe that's being a meatball, but that's how I look at it. That's the biggest monkey on their back.
Kiz is basically saying his mind is already curved.
Bro, I don't want. Remember that thing again? I'm just saying there's no redeeming quality here. He's the losingest coach in NFL history outside of, I believe, a guy from Cleveland. I'll figure that out later on. He's not good.
He's worse than Hugh Jackson, or whatever his name is.
Thank you. You caught it. So Hugh Jackson's worse than him. That's not a good comparison, guys. This is why I'm comparing him to the worst coach in NFL history. It's not a good comparison. We don't want anything to do with that. Punt him into the bloody sun. If he beats the Packers, like they'll come back in the end of year presser and go, "Oh, but he beat the Packers, so we're going to stick with him."
Yeah, but the thing is, if the offense looks good under Brown, under him calling the plays, then it reflects on Flus. Well, why the hell was Waldron, slowing this team down? because you had him as the offensive coordinator when this guy is so much better. On the defense where the talent is, they should be able to, play ball. But if they fail or if they even succeed, it's going to be, well, Flus did it as opposed to the players did it. So either way, it's like, I don't know. And it's hard to give a shit because we already know Flus ain't it. and every game that we got to watch him continue to be the coach is just another
delaying
time.
the inevitable.
Damn.
Right?
We there's no. I'm sorry that I had to hit y'all with that, but there is polar opposites, man. There's the yin and the yang in the universe, man. Things can go way left, things can go way right, and then what you do after that, you know what I mean? It's just shit can happen. I'm just saying.
All and like you're right. All levels of different things can occur. This is a potential possibility in the realm of possibilities. Is it probable that the Bears are going to win on Sunday? The least probable thing I can think of that'll happen this coming Sunday is that the Bears win this football game under the head coaching guidance of Matt Eberflus. I'll sit here and say there's probably a chance under the sun if they punted him into the sun this week. Now there's none. I don't think we can win. That's where my mind is, and I kind of hate to say this, kind of hope we lose because it might mean he's gone.
You just said it. Ooh.
I said it.
Ooh.
I need him out. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, if a short-term loss helps the long-term by getting him out of here sooner, then then it's just like tanking for the number one pick.
Hey, this is better than a number one pick right now.
So you're taking to get the goddamn coach out of here.
Dog, you just put a motherfucking balls in a vice grip, dog. You
no, he put his own nuts in the vice grip. I'm just banging the hammer. That's all I'm doing.
Golly, dog. All right, man. Let me get on. I shouldn't have asked him that shit. Now he done fucked around and said, "Hey, man, this is enough of this shit." Nah,
hey, I'm finished. I'm done. I've been done. But I'm cool enough to give it I don't. I'm not the guy I'm not trying to really be out there being fire people. That's not cool. It's not cool. But enough is enough. It's time. I'm quoting Owen Hart out here. Enough is enough. It's time for a change. It's my Owen Hart. Anyhow, that's where we're at Owen Hart levels now, guys. Enough is enough.
All right. Let me. I apologize for even taking you through that, man. Apparently, I put my boys through too much shit there. And wrong shit came out of them, man.
I'm sorry, y'all.
It's all good. It's all good. Hey, I just want to thank everybody for coming. Had a nice show tonight, man. We did Kansas Superflex show, which was really good. If you didn't check that show out, you should, because we've been dropping dimes every goddamn week, and people sleeping on that show. We are putting dimes out there. I'm going to start putting some shorts out here so that people see exactly, particularly, where you can help your fantasy team on the Kansas Superflex show. Y'all, if you ain't tuning into that, you're missing it, especially if you're a fantasy football guy. But thank you for being here tonight on this impromptu Nomad at Night. We needed to do this because of what happened today, man. I think somebody got scapegoated today. I meant that. I believe everybody else on this channel feels the same way. We didn't take care of the problem. We didn't cut the head off the snake, and we still got a problem. Can they rebound from this? Me, the optimistic Bears fan, hopes they can. And I'm going to take that energy into the game this week. So check us out when we do the watch party. And by the way, the people that I don't know who in particular asked us to start doing that program. But thank you for asking us to do that, man, because it's grown since we started doing it, and people are starting to tune in more and more to the watch party, man. We have a good time doing it. We just us when we do the show. So if you want to see something different that ain't your plain old rigmarole podcast when people are watching the game, come check us out, because we really bring real into the broadcast, man. So thank you guys once again, and I got to get out of here with these famous words, and I'm going to leave you with these. If you can think it, people, and you can see it, people, you can absolutely manifest it, folks. It's all in your mind, and don't be a prisoner of it. With that being said, we are out.